Hypocrisy.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Lost Planing the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. How are you doing? How's it going? What's up? What's shaking? I wear jorts. I wear jorts. You really want to test me on this? You want to fight with me, Attorney Tom? You and your little law practice or whatever you do out there. Okay. If it's war, it's war. Oh my goodness. So how are you guys doing today? I think that I'm getting sick. I may actually have COVID. So apparently, I had a COVID exposure. So that's fun. And guess what? Tomorrow I get to get tested to see if I have le couf. So that'll be great. That'll be so much fun. I love the fact that they're going to shove something into my nose. I mean, do they realize how long it's going to take to swab this nose? Like, do they understand what they're like, oh, 10 minutes. 10 minutes for an appointment. Oh, yeah, really? 10 minutes, huh? Yeah, apparently you've never seen how much nose you'll be swabbing. So, yeah, at least it's not the Chinese swab, right? Straight in the pooper. No, thank you. No, thank you. So yeah, that's my tomorrow. Wee. It's gonna be so much fun. But I don't know. My only symptom so far is cough. So that doesn't necessarily mean much of anything. And of course, why is it so jittery? I only got the coughing symptom after I was told that I had a potential exposure to COVID. So, you know, it could all be psychosomatic. I have no idea. And it's annoying. But that being said, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. If I disappear from social media forever, I did not Epstein myself. Just so you know. So there's that. But anyway, it's less me, but since I'm potentially exposed, right? The whole family's got to get tested. So that's part of the joy of this stupid thing. So we'll get to find out. I'm sure my like really young children are going to love having a nose swab. But if you are exposed to COVID, right, you want to catch it early rather than late, because you want to make sure you can get whatever treatments you need, monitor the situation appropriately, all of that stuff. And then if I get it, I'll have my own natural immunity, which I know I can't say that on YouTube, but that's how reality works. What if you had the jab? Oh, same results. Yeah. Interestingly, if a couple people I know who have had the jab have also recently contracted COVID. So I guess that's working. Am I going to snort horse paste? No, I bought a tube of horse ivermectin and I brush my teeth with it twice a day. And then I shove it into my anus and take a suppository once a day too. That's how you work it, right? Like that's how it works. That's what I saw on the PornMD website, right? That's how they told me to take ivermectin. And I figured it had MD in it. It's a medical doctor. So that was where I got my information. Well, that and CNN. Oh my God. What a disaster. I homeschool. Why is everybody being tested? Because we want to know if we have it. Also, my kids have activities that they go to. They can't go to them right now, obviously. But anyway, there's a lot of stories out there right now to cover. Tonight, I don't even remember, what am I covering tonight? Oh my God. You'd think I'd know this by now. Well, we got the whiskey review. We're going to do that. The taser case, they're moving to dismiss. There was an updated charge on Taser Lady, first degree manslaughter. They're fighting it. So we're going to take a look at that. I got a really mean voicemail. So the really mean voicemail, we're going to cover that story. It's very, very important that you guys understand the abuse that I get, from somebody. I mean, I had his name. I think it's a him. I didn't pay attention to what the name was. I didn't really think it was useful, but no one I recognized, of course. And who knows if it's even real. But you guys have to understand the abuse that I suffer, what I go through for this show. I'm gonna need so much therapy because of the abuse. We are gonna smoke whiskey tonight. So the whiskey review, which we'll get started in a little bit, is this Willet straight rye whiskey. This is no LGBTQ bullshit whiskey. This is a straight rye whiskey. So this is what I'm going to drink tonight. We're going to do the regular whiskey review first. This comes highly recommended. Well, the Willet family line of whiskey comes highly recommended by Dan Fraga. He's a Willet bourbon guy. They didn't have a Willet bourbon at the Total Wine store, so I got the Willet rye. So we're going to drink this whiskey, and then my dad got me a whiskey smoker. Okay. I'm not going to like vape it or something weird. That would probably kill somebody. This is a whiskey smoker. Okay. It's this little thing. You put wood shavings in it. You light those on fire. And there's two ways to do it. I'm going to try both tonight. I had mixed degrees of success with this over the weekend. But there's one where you put this on top of a glass of whiskey and you cap it off. It's got these holes and it forces the smoke down into the glass. And then there's the other way where you put a glass of whiskey on top of this, smoke the glass, and then pour the whiskey in. So we're going to do that. It'll be, it'll be something. I don't know. Could be good. Could be bad. And yeah. Yeah, it's just wood chips. I want you put a bunch of weed in there. Torch smoke. add a bunch of weed smoke to your whiskey. That'd be good. So that's what we're gonna do with that. Other than that, there's some other stories out there as well. I don't know that we're going to be covering all these today, but Carl Jobst, the absolute legend, is being sued by Billy Mitchell. Billy Mitchell, the disgraced king of Kong, the king of lawsuits, I think, as it were, the man with 1,000 filings. He has many names that will be remembered in history. Billy Mitchell is suing Carl Jobst in Australia. So we're going to review that lawsuit soon, very soon. I will invite Carl on to talk about the situation. It's related to statements he made about Apollo Legend. If you remember, Apollo Legend is the YouTuber who called out Billy Mitchell and said that he was a cheater, a big, dirty, stinking cheater. And Billy Mitchell got very, very mad about it and sued Apollo Legend. And then eventually Apollo settled his lawsuit by giving over the intellectual property rights to all of the videos that talked about Billy Mitchell to Billy Mitchell and taking them down from his YouTube channel. And then he further settled the lawsuit by doing an Etika backflip, which was less than an ideal way to approach the situation. Apparently, he had some personal issues going on, and there's speculation that Billy Mitchell's lawsuit exacerbated those personal issues and led to the suicide. And I believe that is part of what Carl Jobst had talked about. And Billy Mitchell is suing over something related to that. But that's going to be, something he'll have to prove. He'll also have to prove damages, and it's in Aussie court, which is, it's got its advantages and disadvantages. In Australia, you don't have the same free speech protections, but, kind of looking through, and I've just taken a glance. I'm not an Australian attorney, right? So I'm going to be reading up on it, but just taking a glance, there's some good aspects for a defendant in a defamation suit situated like Carl is on this stuff as well, because in Australia, they don't have punitive damages for defamation, and they have loser pays. So Billy Mitchell would have to show the actual damages that were caused by Carl Job's statements. He wouldn't get any presumptive damages or punitive stuff. There's no extra stuff that's tacked on. And if he loses, he'll have to pay Carl's legal fees, which means he will probably have to put up an escrow, bond amount to actually proceed with the lawsuit. I would assume, due to the international nature of it, right? Because the Australian court is going to want, I would think, they would want the foreign entity to put up a bond to adhere to their laws if the foreign entity fails to sue one of their citizens. So we'll have to check out how that goes. I've got a copy of the lawsuit itself, but again, I have to do some full reading on it. Rakeda equals scared little liar. Oh, what did I lie about? What have I lied about? Where is the sanction video? He says. Ashtar Shiran. Which sanction video? The Sidney Powell one? Have they actually released a sanction amount for them yet? Have they done that yet? I do have a Sidney Powell story tonight, because Sidney Powell's out there being really stupid. So, is that what you're worried about? Like, okay. Weird flex, bro. Maybe stop masturbating to pictures of Sidney Powell, because she's not attractive. Oh, God. It's always fun. It's always fun when fucking weirdo, obsessive people come into the chat and they're like, you're a liar. About what? What did I lie about? Oh my gosh. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Heel versus babyface. Where have you been in my life? Anyway, but yeah, we do check your comments. Dude, I get like 1,000 comments a day. Check your comments. You don't get any. What are you talking about? Check your comments. Oh my God. Do you I know you don't, because you're like a weirdo in a comment section. I guess you don't get it. Like, I get like and depending on how many videos I put out, those get multiplied and spread out, and what people do and what. If I see your comment, it's because I opened my app on my phone during a minute of free time, and it gives me like 3 comments at a time. And I have throughout the day, like on the most recent comments, the top 3 most recent comments are always on display in the app. Sometimes I click view more if I have like 2 minutes, and I'll scroll through real quick. If I don't see your comment, I'm sorry, but I get a lot more of them than you who doesn't get any. So that's a hard thing for you to understand. I know. Believe me, it's not a flex. It's really frustrating because then I get some spurg to come into the chat being like, I left a comment and you didn't respond. It's like, buddy, I don't respond to messages from my mom. I'm not going to respond to you. Chill out. Chill out. God, what a weirdo. What a weirdo. Fan Advocacy Network says Sidney Powell is attractive if you compare it to Tess Holliday. Well, I guess a 1 is always better than a 0. So there you go. But anyway, if you're waiting for I assume the sanction video, because I think I remember who you are. I assume the sanction video about Sidney Powell, since you mentioned sanctions, I haven't seen. Have they actually released the sanction amount? Or are you still freaking out? Because if I remember right, I even responded to you and said, I will do a video when they actually release the sanction amount. Because that, to me, will be the news story rather than them getting sanctioned. Because the sanctions, they're getting sanctioned. It's like, okay, well, what is the sanction? I want to know. And if you think I have some love for Sidney Powell, yeah, that's you projecting your love onto her. Go ahead. That you can do that all you want, but especially her most recent thing where she claims to have a cause for the January 6th riots that was organized in some way by her for the purposes of delaying the certification so that Samuel Alito could come in and save the day, which is a story we're going to talk about today, and how stupid it is of Sidney Powell to say anything like this. That should dispel that little mystery. But I know that you think, because again, you, Ashtar Sheeran, who is functionally retarded, think that because people are interested in the Sidney Powell story, and because I cover the Sidney Powell story, that I have some vested interest in Sidney Powell succeeding or some vested interest in her being innocent. I do not. I don't care. And if you paid attention the entire time all of Sydney's lawsuits were going on, I was saying, these aren't going to do anything. They're not going to change the outcome. And I took a lot of shit for that. So go back and do that, and then do the math in your head on why I would say that if I thought it would be beneficial for me, while a whole bunch of people in my audience are screaming at me that I'm wrong. And for the record, I was correct. The Sidney Powell lawsuits didn't do anything. They had structural problems. They had evidence problems. I even went through their really bad expert witness report that talked about all the counties that had more votes than voters that were registered or whatever. But the problem was those counties weren't in Michigan. They were in Minnesota. I know because my county was on the list. And I'm like, I'm not in Michigan. That's weird. But, again, take your sexual fantasy for Sidney Powell and go to the bathroom, buddy. It's fine. It's fine. This is what I have to do. This is what I have to do. I have to sit here and talk. What counties cite them? Detroit Lakes, which, by the way, is not around Detroit. It's actually by North Dakota. Candy, Ojai, Scott, Dakota. Those are just some of them. Just go watch the video where we talked about it, or just go read the report yourself. They weren't Michigan counties. It was a big blunder. I laughed at it a lot. It was kind of funny because, like, what a stupid error to have. The Michigan judge called him out. I think the Georgia judge called him out on it too in Lynn Wood's case. Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, let's get what do we got? Generalissimo says, Jesus, man, put a pasty on that thing. It's bad enough we all pretend not to know why you bought a camera with focal length settings. I rescued a kitten from a running car motor recently. Vet says he's healthy. I'm screwed. Put a pasty on what thing? My nose? What are you talking about? We have your bank records. We know your connections to Sidney Powell. Just wait for my Project Falsus video. No! No! Don't do it. Don't get my bank records. You'll see how much I spend on Warhammer books. Actually, you won't, because I don't do that to the bank, but that's okay. That being said, we are going to go through that Sidney Powell story. That was already chambered. There's another story of a Bitcoin hitman that I wanted to talk about today too, because that's kind of funny, right? A lady went on the dark web to hire the hitman and got the Fed, as one does, right? When it's like, when you advertise your website as, this is the place for hitmen, you have found hitmen.com or whatever. And turns out she was talking to a Fed and was sending all of the Bitcoins to the Fed. So we're gonna that's a funny story. So I thought we'd look at that as well. And what else? I don't know. There was a torture porn story. That was always, those are fun. What the hell was that? Oh yeah, Matt Gaetz. There's lots of speculation about Matt Gaetz. If you remember, Matt Gaetz had a weird sort of encounter months and months and months ago, where I criticized his response with no comment to whether he's guilty or not. I don't know, but I thought his response was not properly executed. I think he could have used some expert help on responding to that. And by expert help, I mean it should have been an attorney responding to it rather than Matt Gaetz responding to it, because his responses were not great. He went on Tucker Carlson, and even Tucker was like, "Well, that didn't work." You know, it was not ideal. And so that is still kind of ongoing. And the accusation is that Matt Gaetz was involved in some sort of sexual scandal. Well, Matt Gaetz was trending on Twitter for a little bit today. And by trending, of course, I mean he was forced to trend on Twitter by Twitter, saying that X amount of tweets about Matt Gaetz meant a trend when there's, other subjects with 10 to 15 times the amount. But he was trending on Twitter for a little bit because of this, because someone somewhere said he might get charged with something. So that's good. The Daily Beast has taken it up. Daily Beast, the arbiter of truth, and fine reporting, has taken up the story. So we'll be talking about that as we go as well. Does anybody know, by the way, what's up with, like, was Joe Neerman supposed to not stream tonight? Because I noticed he wasn't streaming before me, and I'd sent him a message inviting him on. I didn't get a response, so I didn't know if he had mentioned that he wasn't going to be on today. So just curious if anybody knew anything about that. He's not streaming tonight or Tuesday. Oh, he has a Jewish thing. He's still on Jewish holiday. Which holiday? Is it Rosh Hashanah or something? Is that one of them? Shit. I'm being a bad lawyer not knowing the proper Jewish holiday. What are these damn kids? Okay. Let's get Adam on the show. He's welcome, but I don't think he's here today. Oh, it's Sukkot? Oh, man. We have a group out here that does a Sukkot feast. And, well, obviously now we can't go. So, because of the COVID contact. Well, that's too bad. Asia Frazier sent a member chat. Yeah, apparently, I learned this the other day. If you've been a member for like a certain amount of time, you get a free like super chat per month because I don't know what YouTube is doing with that, like why they would be racist against me and racist against the grift, but they've just decided to give people a free chat for I guess paying or something. Because they're like, "Oh, well they pay, so I guess they can have a chat." And I'm like, "No, what is this? Why would I do that?" I don't think it's only super lawyers. I think it's other people too. Okay. I just never have seen it, and then the other day, it happened. It happened. So YouTube really wants me to push the YouTube member program, and I'm like, but I'm on I'm on locals though, and locals won't kick me off for a joke where I like talk about a broken transmission, for example. So, you know, I I prefer locals as a system. Plus, when YouTube eventually kicks me off, like I thought about doing the audit. I thought about doing a kickoff stream today where we would talk about the audit and we would talk about vaccination stuff. But I think I'm going to do that tomorrow. I think that's going to happen tomorrow. So, but it's people are welcome to subscribe wherever they want. I appreciate all of it. I just, YouTube's like, you should promote this more. And I was like, eh. Okay. So I've got the Willet here. I'm gonna do that. We're gonna do the regular test in this glass, and then I'll show you the whiskey smoker. Eldon Bainling, tonight's a movie night. Yesterday was Sunday, man. It wasn't a normal stream day. So there wasn't I didn't have the energy, but two, I wasn't planning on doing Twitch anyway. Tonight is movie night. This is a good smelling whiskey. This is a rye. On the nose, it smells like alcohol because it's like 108 proof. So it's got a good alcohol-y smell. Strong. This is not an expensive rye whiskey, by the way. It's it's not cheap, but it's about $55 a bottle. Not terrible. Ooh. It's good. It's got a nice burn in the mouth, but smooth down the throat. That's what she said. I like that. You can tell you're drinking it. Some whiskeys you can't. Taste is good. A little bit of sourness to it. I'm not the biggest fan of sour whiskeys. This isn't bad. I'm the worst whiskey reviewer on the planet, by the way. It does. I mean, that sourness is coming through at the end. I'm going to hold judgment. Hold judgment. We'll see as we keep going. Morty J says, hey, Nick, gonna catch the repeat tomorrow at work, but I need a future fat shame motivation for me to start up my P90X classic routine and lose that weight. God bless you, dude, and keep up the good work. Oh, buddy. P90X is have fun with that yoga. Have fun with that yoga. 90 minutes of your balls sweating. Have fun. Good luck. You need it though, because you're a disgusting fat slob. So make sure you get down there. You do those push-ups. You do those pull-ups. I mean, you're really, I can tell you're really, really fat. So you need a whole bunch of those little help me do pull-ups bands to get your big ass off the ground and up on the bar. But try not to pull your house down, fatty. It'd be an embarrassment. Your insurance doesn't cover fat-related catastrophes. But, you know, on the other hand, just keep it up. You can do it. You can do it. Also, Camelot 331 is in the chat. Whew. Says he drank milk and whiskey today. That is disgusting. Don't do this. Don't do that ever. Don't ever drink milk and whiskey. That, oh God, that's disgusting. Fat astrophies. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Dude, the again, the hardest workout I've ever done in my entire life was the P90X yoga. And I mean, like I said, I did marathon training, so I did, you know, I did 22-mile runs. I did obviously the marathon run, 26 miles. The P90X yoga was harder than all of that. God, it sucks. It sucks. And you'd think, you'd be like, oh, yoga, that's going to be easy. I'm just stretching like some fake Indian, right? Oh, I'm just going to be out here being like Sherpa Sherpa. I'm going to stretch Dalai Lama, Taj Mahal, my legs behind my head. No, it's so fucking hard. It is brutal. Oh God. Whew. Tom Bombadil, P90X yoga was a break from the regular routine. Nah. See? There you go. Generalissimo says, I did 2 consecutive cycles of P90X. Yoga was the only thing I consistently subbed out of for something else. It is death for males. It is horrifyingly difficult. And it's it just sucks. It's 90 minutes of constant workout. Oh, don't. Oh God, it's rough. It's really rough. I did Insanity. I did not finish P90X, obviously, because I still am all shrimpy. But this is years and years ago. But yeah, I did Insanity. I did T25, and P90X yoga was the worst. I don't know what the movie night is tonight, or what the movie is for tonight. We'll find something though. But all right. What's next? Oh, we got the super chats that came in before the show. Let me grab those real quick. Wolfgang Deo says, wishing you a great stream, Nick. I can't deal with these face diapers at university anymore. There's no point in continuing. God help them, us, and me. Well, good luck, buddy. Good luck. Teleco Friedman, what are you talking about? Quartering said something about being sentenced to 514 years in prison. Who being sentenced to 514 years in prison? Who are you talking about? That number looks familiar. Oh, it's the the YouTuber guy. The YouTuber guy. What was his name? He's the TV research. So he would steal like he would pirate channels, and he made his own TV streaming service that he sold for like $10 a month or whatever. Omi something. And so you could sign up for a thing. It's like, oh wow, I get Showtime and HBO and all these different services. I get it for $10 a month. This is great. And he's facing 500 something years in prison because turns out you can't actually do that. Omi Hellcat, yeah, that guy. Yeah, it turns out you can't actually just take a TV station and steal its content and broadcast it to people for less than the station charges. It's not really legal to do. And so he has gotten charged with quite a bit of copyright infringement, and faces something like 500 years in prison. And that is going to be one hell of a fight for him. It just goes to show you, right? Like, if you're going to do a bad crime, just murder someone instead. Because like if you murder someone, you're probably going to be out in like 10, 12 years, right? Like Muhammad Noor, he's going to be out in 7.5, something like that, for murdering Justine Demond. That'll be fine for him. That's all he's going to face. But if you steal some television shows, then you get to go to prison forever. How much time will R. Kelly get? He's facing life. I'm thinking he'll get in the neighborhood of 20 to 25 years, just based on just literally nothing but instinct. So we'll have to see how that turns out for him. It's you don't want to be R. Kelly. The most consequentially expensive piss he's ever taken was on that girl. And you should consider that when you're thinking about peeing on a person sexually. You should consider that maybe you'd be like, R. Kelly peed on a girl once, and then now he's in prison. He's going to prison forever. Very, very expensive urination that he took. What's up to the RGE Raiders? How are you guys doing? How's RGE doing? Oh, guys, so I'm thinking of trying to put together a I've noticed. And look, let's be honest here. I am firmly in tune with the grift at all times. The grift flows through me. I'm like we'll get D&D nerdy here. I'm like Mystra, right? The magic weave that controls all magic in the Forgotten Realms. I'm like Mystra, but of the grift. And so when I see the grift flowing, and I'm like touching the ebbs and flows and manipulating the ways to bring money into me, I understand it. And I see these panel shows that are regular panel shows that happen at a consistent time and have a whole bunch of people on them. And they're wildly popular, right? You've got like Friday Night Tights. You've got Flashcast, a popular show. You've got some other people doing these panel shows now. And I figured, wait a minute, I'm sensing a little disturbance in the grift weave, right? Like a spider, right? There's like a fly trapped on the outskirts, fluttering around. And I feel it in my legs and in my feet and in my hands. And I go, oh, okay. So I'm thinking about starting up a regular stream with panels of lawyers, probably, or something, if I can arrange it, and to do a regular panel show on a particular day. So keep your eyes open. We'll see who wants to come on and help me grift, because that's all it is. That's all the panel shows are. They're just grift so hard. Also, I've been in contact with Styx Hexenhammer. working on scheduling a show. That is the connection has been made, so that's good. I had talked to Styx a long time ago about doing a show, but it was on my old Twitter account. And so that connection had been lost, but it has been reconnected. We have docked. Via Twitter DMs. And so now, working on scheduling that. So hopefully that will happen soon. Phoenix Lord Asterman says, so like a big brain panel? Yeah, but the idea would be a consistently done one at a consistent time with a roster of people who could come in reliably, or a big enough roster that we could rotate into people. Captain Kerfuffle says, breaking, shaman charged with starting California wildfire after allegedly boiling bear urine, not satire. Sitch and Adam working out, going on their show. Louis Rossman, I haven't connected with yet. That's my fault. It's my fault. That's not for anything other than me being lazy. But that's good. Also, there was a chat from my man Az. Heel versus Babyface says R. Kelly should have stayed in the closet. Instead, R. Kelly made a girl into his water closet, and that is the source of his problems. He picked the wrong type of closet. It was not a good plan. Mexican Flash says, according to Biden, he will not tax people making under $400,000 more. Meanwhile, I pay over $4 for a gallon of gas. I wonder why I feel he is lying. Well, because he is. He is. I can't get Peacock on yet. Peacock has to get fired from his job before he could come on. But I love Peacock. I want him to be on all the time, but he can't be. So, Nate, do a panel with Nate. Well, I mean, I would assume Nate would be invited to the panel. I talked to Nate today about doing a show. So I was thinking about this. You guys, some of you may know and some of you may not, depending on how long you've watched the show or how much of the backlog you've watched. I would occasionally do a show in the series called How to Catch and Convict a Predator, right? And we pull the documents of someone charged with various sexual crimes, and we look at how the feds typically, because it's easier to pull federal documents, how the feds built their case against this person. And then I was thinking to myself, I'm like, Nate was a prosecutor, not a federal one, but a New York prosecutor. And he was also a police officer. And he might be really insightful to do one of these How to Catch and Convict a Predator shows. And so I talked to him about that. And I think we'll do something with that in the very near future. I'm not so sure on this rye. We're going to see if the smoke helps it out. We'll do that in a minute. Those are hard to watch without wanting. I think you mean warning. But there'll be, I mean, it's in the title. It's in the title. Okay. Xenobit. Oh, the 400K thing. I got to pull up something real quick. On that, because, it's just, there's so many different, this is the problem I'm having right now. There are so many things to talk about that it's hard to keep them all. It's hard to keep them all in order and then remember them and all of this stuff. It's, damn it. Where is it? You know what? I'm going to do it this way. This is a Twitter thing, but it's only a Twitter thing because it's really important. God, God, look at this shit. Here we go. No, this one. Share screen. This one. That's fine for now. This is good. This is me being superior to the stuff on the screen. I like this. Look at this guy. So I've just recently been introduced to Secular Talk, Kyle Kalinske. People listen to this fucking weirdo. Like, people listen to this guy. I didn't know he existed. And someone keeps messaging me with stupid fucking tweets like this one. But he's a little commie or whatever. So, he brings up this reconciliation bill, which has this stuff, which apparently these are all popular. Therefore, they're good legislation. Popular means good, according to weirdo socialists, like higher taxes on the rich. Apparently, that's popular. Well, because most people aren't rich, so that then it becomes popular to tax the minority, right? Like this is how it works and how it's not supposed to work. But that's one of them. Climate money, home care, housing, Medicare expansion, free community college, paid medical leave, family leave. This is all just money being printed or taken from someone else. Universal pre-K and child tax benefit. So since it has this, it's good. And corrupt corporatus is trying to sink it. This guy brings up this, right? Also has the requirement of reporting any deposits over $600 to the IRS, down from $10,000, I think. I'm sure that is meant to target the millionaires. And, we've been talking about this a little bit over the past couple of days as this has come to the surface. But look at this guy. Lol, if the gov wants to be notified every time my paycheck gets deposited, so be it. Govern me harder, Daddy. Govern me harder. Please. Please just monitor all my transactions. I need to see them. I need my transactions monitored. Here we go. But here's what I was looking for. This is in response to that 400,000 thing. So Biden says he's not going to raise the taxes on anybody making less than $400,000 a year by 1 cent, which is that's false, by the way. Every president who has ever said that breaks it, because think about it, if they raise the gas tax by any amount, boom, you've got it. They're already talking about a mileage tax. Oh, the mileage tax is only going to apply to drivers who make over $400,000 a year, many of whom who probably are not driving because they work from home, or they have a driver, or they take their private jet or jetpack or helicopter or sex robot that they ride on a saddle. It doesn't matter. Like, they're already talking about a mileage tax and all this stuff. How can we possibly figure that no one making under $400,000 is going to get hit by one of the many proposed taxes by Biden? Okay. Anyway, that's not the point. This is the point. Josh Siegel at Legal by Siegel. And I knew immediately, I was like, oh no, I know what kind of simp this is. I make under 400,000. You should still raise my taxes. No, they should not. Unless you make like 20,000, then maybe they should raise your taxes because you're not paying anything. You're getting money back. That's a discussion for a different day. But no, they shouldn't raise your taxes. But here we go. Look at this bio. There it is. Gesture simple, Boston-based litigator. Follow me for snark and bad jokes. This is like every lawyer on Twitter's profile, by the way. Follow me for snark and bad jokes, as if snark was like your 3L class that you took. It's like, oh, now that you got done with contracts, on to snark. They all have this. All of them. Listen to my snarky takes. Yankees fan and follower of fantasy football Twitter and hashtag law Twitter. Because of course they are, right? Oh God. What's up, Uncivil? How you doing? But this is the thing here. We're going to go down and look at this. Rando Gutierrez. This person says it's always a weird flex these people do, like flash in the pan actresses saying they aren't taxed enough. It's an attempt at a virtue signal, but it comes off as hollow. It's weirder when poor people don't want rich people to be taxed. I love this argument. I love this argument because every single time they clearly don't know. Like, here's what someone does. They go, "Well, I make $30,000 a year and I barely pay any taxes. So therefore, the person who makes more than me probably doesn't pay any taxes either." Wrong. Wrong. Or they see something like, "Oh, Donald Trump didn't pay taxes in this year," ignoring that he had like prepaid taxes, ignoring massive losses, ignoring all of these different things. They'll say, "Oh, well, he didn't pay his fair share." And they always do that. They'll cherry pick 1 year out of some top 0.1% earner and say, "Well, they didn't pay much for their thing." It's like, well, there's a lot going into how this works out and how you structure your income and all of that. But the overwhelming majority of high income earners actually pay a shitload of taxes. The overwhelming majority do. But rich people are taxed. They pay a disproportionate share of tax. In 2018, the top 1% paid a greater share of individual income taxes, 40%, than the bottom 90% combined, 28.6. So then I explain this because I assume Daniel Gutierrez has no idea how to read anything. So before you make a bad argument, this means the top 1% of earners paid 40% of all the taxes. The bottom 90% of earners paid less than 30% of all taxes. And the top 10 to 2% combined paid the other 30%. Top 10% of earners pay over 70% of all tax. That's right. And they don't make 70% of the income. That's the thing. They don't make anywhere near 70% of the income. And we have a chart to show. The top 1% make 20% of the income, 20.9, and pay 40% of the tax. Then the 5% of the 1% make 15.5% of the income, but pay 20.2% of the taxes. The 10 to 5%, they make 11.2% of the income and pay 11.1% of the tax. They're close to proportionate because they're kind of they're not in the median income, but this is kind of where taxation should be, right? The proportional share of income. Now, this is all 10 to 5% earners make a total of 11.2% of the income that is shared across the entire thing. They're the lowest earning class on this chart. But I mean, they're not you know what I mean? They're not the lowest earning class. They're the lowest aggregate earners on the chart as it's structured. But that's about what the share should be. Your income and your taxation should be proportional to what you're paying in a fair system. But it's an unfair system. And here's how it's an unfair system. The bottom 50% of earners, the bottom half of society's earners, earns 11.6% of the money and pays less than 3% of the taxes. It's again, it's not even close. Saying that the rich don't pay their share, the rich pay the overwhelming share of taxes. But this is what's echoed by Joe Biden and everybody else, that somehow the rich aren't paying their fair share, even though, the top 10%, 40, 20, and another 11, they're paying over 70% of the taxes for the entire country right here in the top 10% of earners. But they're making, 20, 30, 45% of the income. It's amazing. It's amazing. I don't know what this did. Oh, this is an ace an ace attorney bot. Okay. Got it. That's what that is. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because I found it interesting. And I run across these arguments about taxation, and it seems like people have no idea because what they see is that some wealthy people don't pay very much in income tax. Now, wealthy people tend to pay their income if they're not working. Their income comes from capital gains, and so they pay gains taxes, which are classified differently, and they earn money in a different way. And so that often doesn't play into the same thing. So their overall effective tax rate can be lower because some of their income comes from a lower taxed category, or they have significant losses that they're able to claim, or they have capital investments that they're able to write off on, or like physical capital investments, stuff like that. So it gets very complicated, and I think a lot of people have no idea how wealthy people tax works. But I keep seeing this shit, and so it annoys me. It annoys me. It annoys me very much. And to me, capital gains taxes are even more of a theft than income taxes, because you had to pay the tax on the money you used to buy the capital, which earns the money. So therefore, you're getting double taxed. So that's great. Fred Marks, appropriate last name, says, lol, no idea. Just like how you people leave out the cost of living or how little they are paid. But nah, let's care about the tax rates, not that large companies pay the correct amount. Large companies pay the correct amount by and large. So, good job. good job with that one. They pay the correct amount. They pay the amount that Congress puts in there. The thing is, when a company buys tons of buildings, for example, and those buildings have depreciation built into them, they can then take the depreciation on the building immediately and carry that loss forward for, say, 10 to 20 years. Or when the stock market has an absolute disaster, but the company has to liquidate assets to make payroll, and they take a big loss on income for a year, they get to carry that loss forward into the next years. And so do you. The only difference is you don't make enough to have a loss. You don't, and I don't either. It's not like I'm doing this. I would if I could, but there's reasons that exists. It's those loopholes, we'll call them, right, are ways to actually stimulate capital investment so that while there's a lull in the economy, people can make investments which would open up new jobs for the people who won't make enough money, because someone has to employ them if they won't be self-employed. And that's how the market works. And that's how your Congress works. And by the way, all of your Democrat congressmen voted for it too. They put all those things in. They love all of them. All of their friends and donors take advantage of them to the maximum. None of them are foregoing those corporate tax breaks. But I think the corporate tax and the income tax are a complete sham and theft. So what do I know? So here we go. I'm going to smoke this glass of whiskey. Let me get the fire started, and then I'll show it to you. My mic's in the way. I have to do this left-handed. I can't even do it left-handed. I think tax policy and tax realities are some of the most misunderstood topics on the internet, especially in political discourse. Okay. So here's what we're doing. We've got this thing, and it's smoking inside the glass. I don't know if you'll be able to see the haziness build up, but you kind of can. But there's smoke going into the whiskey glass right now. Is that cat painting Louis Wayne? No, it's Eric Waugh. So you just let it smoke into this glass, and then that smoke will sit around and in just a minute, I'm going to pour whiskey into this glass with the smoke. Does it really do anything? Yeah. Yeah, you can smell it quite a bit. I don't know if it flavors the whiskey this way, but it puts enough of the smoke aroma into the glass that it's undoubtedly going to influence what you're tasting because you're smelling the smoke as you take your drink. All right. This glass is actually smoking right now. That's cool. And also, in theory, some of the whiskey should suck up some of the smoke that's in the glass. We'll see. Think it's the most hipster thing you've seen me do? Maybe. The people who do who do this and the person who makes these are old enough to have hipster grandchildren. So, woo. It's pretty good. That smoke aroma is really strong. Not too strong on the whiskey itself. I'll do it the other way next. And try smoking down into the whiskey. All right. Next. Let's get to taser lady. This is Kimberly Ann Potter. Then try filling the glass before you turn it over on top of it. Oh my gosh. So here's the is this visible? Do you guys want me to make it bigger? Because like I can make it bigger and me smaller. But then I feel subservient to the screen. Creeps me out. So here's what they're trying to do. So this lady was charged with second-degree manslaughter and I think third-degree manslaughter. And then they recently added bigger. Okay, we'll do the bigger one. Wow. I feel unloved.
Your Honor, I'm pretty sure we have a mistrial here, sir.
I'm going to mistrial my foot up your ass. You don't shut up.
That's right. That's right. Oh, I bet that echoed. Yeah, I bet that echoed. Suck it. Here we go.
Your Honor, I'm pretty sure we have a mistrial here, sir.
I'm going to mistrial my foot up your ass. You don't shut up.
Okay, here we go. I fixed that. So here is the defendant's motion to dismiss count 1 of the amended complaint. So they're going to trial on the other counts, but they're trying to dismiss count 1, which is the upgraded first-degree manslaughter charge against Kimberly Potter. The defendant, Kimberly Ann Potter, through and by her lawyers, Earl Grey. Earl Grey is defending one of the Chauvin defendants. He is named after a T, but he's named after a T, but he is one of the top criminal defense lawyers in Minnesota by prestige. I'm not saying that he's a great criminal defense lawyer or a bad criminal defense lawyer, but he has defended Minnesota Vikings. He's done murder trials. The Minnesota Vikings party boat incident was one famous one that he defended. I know someone who hired Earl Grey, paid a whole bunch of money, and just had a negotiated plea deal. and the negotiation wasn't that great. But that's one case. I'm not judging him by that case. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, attorneys are attorneys, and they may be good, they may be bad. He is just a famous one. He is a famous one. Is he better than me? I'm a narcissistic asshole, so no. But he definitely has more resources than I do, and more clients, and wants to do it a lot more than I do. So maybe I don't know. I don't know how it works. Give me his team of research attorneys, and we'll see. But he built that. Like I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it or didn't earn it or anything like that. It's just, oh my God. Ty Beard in the chat. What's up, buddy? How's it going? Ty's out here doing the Lord's work. So anyway, through and by her lawyers, Earl Grey and Paul Eng, and in accordance with Rule 11.04, Minnesota Rules of Criminal Procedure and State v. Florence, moves the court for an order dismissing count 1 of the amended complaint. Our grounds are these. On September 2nd, 2021, the state added the charge of first-degree manslaughter predicated on reckless use and handling of a firearm in violation of Minnesota Statute 609.20 sub 2, suggesting a mandatory 3-year prison term in reference to Minnesota Statute 609.11.5a. This motion is timely filed. Manslaughter in the first degree prohibits causing the death of another, quote, the death of another in committing or attempting to commit a misdemeanor offense with such force and violence that death or great bodily harm to any person was reasonably foreseeable. And murder in the first or second degree was not committed thereby. So if you remember, Chauvin was charged with second-degree murder because he commit a felony which resulted in murder, was the logic behind his charge and conviction. The underlying felony was the assault. This is like a weaker version of that. It's where the underlying criminal act is only a misdemeanor, not a felony, and that the death or great bodily harm was reasonably foreseeable. So there's a little bit more. It's not as strict liability as second-degree murder. Second-degree murder, you're doing a felony and someone dies, you are liable if the felony is somehow the cause of the death. With this one, not only does it have to cause the death, but that death must be foreseeable, or great bodily harm must be foreseeable. But if you're like trying to think of a misdemeanor that you've got. Okay, you are shit. Oh, got to think of a good misdemeanor. You're committing a petty theft, right, from a store, and somebody sees you and has a stroke and dies, right? So there you go. So a petty theft occurs. Someone sees you, they have a stroke, and they die. That's not really foreseeable for a petty theft. So you're not going to be responsible for that in this way. Petty theft being, stealing something worth less than $1,000, for example. That's not going to end up being a first-degree manslaughter because there's no way you could have seen that would happen. It also has the requirement of with such force and violence. So like you really have to target the individual. And again, in Chauvin's case, you don't have to do it with force and violence that the death or harm was reasonably foreseeable. You don't have any of those qualifications. The misdemeanor predicate of the first-degree manslaughter here is found in Minnesota Statutes 609.66, Subdivision 1, Sections 1 and 2, which provides, quote, whoever recklessly handles or uses a gun or other dangerous weapon so as to endanger the safety of another may be subject to imprisonment of not more than 90 days or to payment of a fine of not more than $1,000 or both. So this would be a good indicator, right? You recklessly handle or use a gun and endanger the safety of another, but you do it with such force and violence that death or great bodily harm to any person was reasonably foreseeable. So recklessly handling a gun endangers the safety of another, even if you don't fire it. However, recklessly handling a gun, or even if you do fire it and you miss, but if you fire it at someone, for example, recklessly, not intentionally, but you're just like, aha, look at this thing, click, 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 bam, and it goes off and shoots someone, then suddenly you've transgressed probably into this territory if they die from it. All right, because that would be foreseeable. Blaine 20 sent a member chat, says, what is this new crap? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan. Not the biggest fan. It impacts the grift. The facts in this case are frozen in time and frame. Oh, what an artistic way to say it's on video. For this court's review, we submit the body camera video and transcript exhibits A and B under separate cover. On April 11th, 2021, Mr. Dante Wright, drove a vehicle with expired plates and with an object hanging from the rearview mirror. The state's complaint does not suggest the stop was pretextual. So they're not even alleging that the stop was invalid or was a pretext for some other thing. The car was not Mr. Wright's. There was a warrant for his arrest authorized by the Hennepin County District Court, as well as a harassment restraining order prohibiting him from contact with a female. The training officer in charge of the scene, Anthony Lucky, not so lucky this day, made the correct decision to arrest Mr. Wright and at the same time determine if the passenger was named in the order for protection. So he's got a warrant out. That's grounds for the arrest already. If the passenger is named in the order for protection, they would have further grounds to arrest, but they already have it. The warrant itself is grounds. The text of the complaint underplays Mr. Wright's conduct. When about to be handcuffed, ignored the lawful orders to comply, resisted arrest, evinced contempt for this court's warrant. That's a funny line because normally, they would be, as defense attorneys, they'd be like, there's no contempt for the court's warrant. What are you talking about? And decided to drive away. All of this he had no right to do, which would make him Dante wrong, forcing the officers on scene to stop him. By attempting to flee, Mr. Wright committed what was, by Supreme Court opinion, a dangerous crime, a Minnesota felony, no less. See Minnesota Statute 609.487, Subdivision 3, and Sykes versus United States. Not Wanda Sykes, a different Sykes. Officer Potter told Mr. Wright, I'll tase ya, and within seconds shouted out quite loudly, taser, taser, taser. Upon hearing the taser, 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 the two officers stepped away so as to not be accidentally shot. Having heard the triage, Mr. Wright continued on with his dysphoria, probably gender dysphoria is what I'm guessing. That's probably it. And therefore, they killed a beautiful LGBTQ female presenting lesbian. And calling her Mr. Wright is bigotry. That's what I've determined. There's no suggestion in the complaint that Officer Potter consciously believed that the object in her hand was a gun or that she knew she was about to shoot a bullet. Officer Potter's reaction to the accidental and mistaken discharge was to say, as the complaint notes, shit, and I grabbed the wrong fucking gun, and acknowledged, I shot him. Remorse for her mistake is evident. The question for this court on these undisputed facts is whether Officer Potter acted recklessly, as that word has been defined in, among other cases, State versus Engel. Recklessly, our high court initially noted as an ambiguous term, then and still not defined in the Minnesota Criminal Code. Thus, the meaning of recklessly was explained. So here's where they're gonna rest on this argument, and it's a pretty decent argument. It's a pretty decent argument. Engel ruled that under the statute, a person acts recklessly when she consciously disregards a substantial and unjustifiable risk that the element of an offense exists or will result from her conduct. So this is going to be it. Consciously disregarding a substantial and unjustifiable risk. She's going to tase the guy. In her mind, right? her mistake is a mistake. Now, a guy dies because of this mistake. But the weird thing is, she may have been justified in shooting him anyway, which I think they're going to argue at trial. But it's kind of a weird position, because had she intentionally pulled the gun and fired, she might have been completely justified in shooting. But since she tried to pull a taser and instead pulled a gun by mistake, now she was negligent or reckless, if they determine that. But she has to consciously disregard a substantial and unjustifiable risk. And I don't think she consciously did. That the element of an offense exists or will result from her conduct, both the reckless actor and the intentional actor create a risk of harm. The reckless actor is aware of the risk and then disregards it. The definition is clarified later in the Engel opinion. To satisfy its burden, the state must prove that the defendant commits a conscious or intentional act in connection with the discharge of a firearm that creates a substantial and unjustifiable risk that she is aware of and disregards. By this definition, and in that tragic instant, Officer Potter had to have created a substantial and unjustifiable risk she was aware of and disregarded. Engel remains good law, see State versus Vang, acknowledging the consciously disregards a substantial and unjustifiable risk definition. The question raised in a motion to dismiss like this one is whether there is an adequate justification for trial on the merits. That is to say, sufficient facts to require the defendant to stand trial. Whether Officer Potter consciously knew she was about to fire her gun so as to endanger the safety of another, and at that very same moment consciously disregarded a risk she was unaware of. The intense shouts of "I'll tase you" and "taser, taser, taser" have only one meaning as a matter of law. Excited utterances are deemed reliable as a matter of law. Okay, so what they're going to say is that her excited utterances are admissible. They're admissible as evidence at trial. It's an exception to hearsay, and it's an exception to a whole bunch of other potential objections that they would have. There was like they're admissible and deemed reliable because she said them in an excited state. She wasn't able to lie consciously because of what was going on, is kind of the rationale. I'm not the hugest fan of this whiskey so far. Gonna say it. The rationale for the excited utterance exception stems from the belief that the excitement caused by the event eliminates the possibility of conscious fabrication and ensures the trustworthiness of the statement. Right? This makes sense. It's not always true, but it makes sense. The state does claim Officer Potter's statements of her consciousness were false. Rule 803(2) assumes they were true. And I don't know how the state is planning to prove that her statements were false, right? The state's argument, again, this lady is dumb. She made a big mistake drawing a gun when her taser's on her other hip. She screwed up, right? But her to suggest that what she did was to say taser to lie so she could grab her gun as cover to kill Dante Wright by accident is the weirdest convoluted argument you could come up with, right? If she was intentionally grabbing the gun, charge her with murder. If she's intentionally grabbing the gun and lying about it, you would charge her with murder because she would be doing this intentionally. That would eliminate the recklessness. But she's yelling taser, 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 not to cover her tracks, but because she's just frankly stupid. When Officer Potter shouts out, "I grabbed the wrong fucking gun," what she means to say, she was not conscious of the fact that what was in her hand wasn't a taser. Her consciousness was consistent throughout. By yelling "I'll tase ya" and "taser, taser, taser," Officer Potter believed she was holding a taser, not a gun. And this is correct. Now, she may still be guilty under a different statute, but not this one. And that's the important part that they're trying to do here. Eliminate this charge from the complaint at the start, because it shouldn't be in there. And this is correct. I mean, they'll have to defend the other ones. And frankly, I think she beats these charges. I mean, we'll have to see, but it seems like just a really tragic mistake. But again, I think to me, the most important thing is that had she pulled the gun and shot him on purpose, it probably would have been justified. The complaint ignores the case law definition of recklessly. Officer Potter had to have been aware of the risk that her taser was a gun and then disregarded it. Put another way, she had to have known when shouting taser, 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 she was really talking about a firearm and was aware she had an actual gun in her hand. She did not. Now, I think if I'm the state here, right, the counter argument is going to say that she had the requisite ability to know, that she should have known, that her knowledge should be imputed upon her by all of the training that she received, by the different handles that are involved in a taser versus a firearm, and that makes her aware for the purposes of the law of what she was doing, even if she was not actually aware. That would be the counter argument that I think the state's going to put out. We won't know for a couple days until the state files their memorandum. But if I had to guess, I mean, that's going to be the idea. Wait a minute. This is a highly trained officer who's been on the force for 20 years or 25 years or whatever. I mean, granted, it's her first year in the field, but 25 years as an officer. She's gone through training. She's held a gun tons and tons of times. We're supposed to believe that she doesn't know. She's reaching for the gun that's on the specific hip. Excuse me. That's going to be the argument that the state puts forward. If I had to guess, the amended complaint has alleged instead is that Officer Potter had been instructed on the use of a taser and how confusing a handgun with a CEW taser could result in death or serious injury. She had been taught that there are risks of drawing a handgun instead of a taser. The probable cause section can only suggest, and only by way of argument, that Officer Potter at that precise moment was consciously aware of the risks of confusion between a gun and a taser. But there's no factual claim, nor can there ever be one, that she was aware in that second of the confusion she had been taught about. Oh, damn it. This is my fault. I left my camera on earlier. Just a second. I screwed everything up. Just a second. I got to refocus the camera. Look at the professionalism. Woo! There we go. All right. Whew. Nor can there ever be one that she was aware in that second of the confusion she had been taught about. The last thing Officer Potter wanted to do was shoot Mr. Wright. That wasn't her conscious intention. She sought a lesser harm, as she was also trained to do. Nothing in the complaint suggests she could not have consciously fired her taser in order to prevent Mr. Wright's unlawful and improvident flight. Setting aside thoughts of conscious recklessness, the reasonable use of force statute also affords Officer Potter a complete defense. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Mr. Wright, whose own intentions were far from innocent or heroic, as some have claimed, sought to drag two officers along with him while both were holding onto the car that wasn't his. He could have killed Officer Lucky and Sergeant Mike Johnson easily, Officer Potter sought, as the use of force statute permits, to effect the arrest or capture or prevent the escape of a person whom the peace officer knows or has reasonable grounds to believe is committed or attempting to commit a felony. There was a concomitant need, quote, to protect the peace officer or another from great bodily harm. The threat of Mr. Wright's possible escape was articulated by shouting out, "Taser, taser, taser." Her use of force, albeit mistaken, was accomplished without unreasonable delay. The version of Minnesota Statute 609.066, in effect on April 11th, 2021, no longer provides the standard. However, on September 13th, 2021, Ramsey County District Court Judge Leonardo Castro, fucking commie, granted a motion for injunctive relief filed by, among others, the Minnesota Police and Peace Officers Association, an organization which represents Officer Potter's interests. Judge Castro found that the amendments to Minnesota Statute 609.066, effective March 1st, 2021, were likely unconstitutional, ruling that the revised statute should be stayed and Minnesota Statute Section 609.066, as it existed prior to the adoption of the amendment, shall remain in force. Order and memorandum submitted to the court as Exhibit C at page 3. Before the March 1st, 2021 amendments, Minnesota Statute 609.066 had long governed the authorized use of force by law enforcement. Under subdivision 1 of that statute, an officer's use of deadly force, i.e. force which the actor should reasonably know creates a substantial risk of causing death or great bodily harm, was justified, 1, to protect the peace officer or another from apparent death or great bodily harm, to effect the arrest or capture or prevent the escape of a person whom the peace officer knows or has reasonable grounds to believe is committed or attempted to commit a felony involving the use or threatened use of deadly force. By the way, driving a car with officers attached to it is a use of deadly force. To effect the arrest or capture or prevent the escape of a person whom the officer knows or has reasonable grounds to believe is committed or attempted to commit a felony if the officer reasonably, believes that the person will cause death or great bodily harm if the person's apprehension is delayed. The old statute is applicable. So they're here saying this is what it should be. This is what the law says because a judge has stayed statewide the prior statute. Hold on. I'm going to try one more glass of this whiskey. We're going to try the other smoke method where we smoke down into it. I don't know if it's going to be any different. I hope so. This rye whiskey is a little sour for me, personally. So there's some drama on the Ralph 24-hour stream. Have you guys heard about this? Apparently, he ripped off a massive fart on stream. And the mic picked it up. Every streamer's worst nightmare right there. Oh, you guys heard that? Weird. Whew. Okay, so this is supposed to be smoking down into the glass. I'm not really seeing it here. Oh, there's a little tiny smoke puddle on top of the whiskey. That's weird. This might take longer. I'm not going to sit here and hold it up for the camera. You can't see it. There's this little like ring of smoke. I'll probably have to do something to stimulate it. Dark Luge G says, hello, everyone. Please take the time to donate and raise hell for Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Scheller, the Marine officer who called out brass for the botched Afghan withdrawal, a good officer who stuck his neck out seeking accountability, now in the brig. So you guys can check that out. I don't know where the particular donation is, but yeah, that's the guy who called out military top brass for the botched Afghan thing, and now is in a military jail. So Love Colored Master Spark says, bruh, that was Liquid and Gas we heard on that stream. I haven't heard it. Is there a clip? Is there a clip of it? Oh man. Not good at it. Stop playing to the audience. What are you talking about? Probably talking to someone else. I have no idea. So Ralph did a 24-hour stream. Very, very commendable to stick through a 24-hour stream. Had lots of guests. I saw a Kiwi Farms, or not a Kiwi Farms. Someone did in the chat, just wrote on Kiwi Farms. I saw a tweet from one of the segments that he had was Nick Fuentes and Corinne. And I took a pot shot at Nick Fuentes, cat boy savior of the white race. Cause I was hoping that he and Corinne would hit it off and he could finally have some little Fuentes babies, right? Like I only want success for Nick Fuentes. I only want him to start doing it. But, we'll see. And then Ralph's like, blood sports in the future. And someone's like, Nick Fuentes would mop the floor with you like he did with your friend Barnes. Arr! And it's like, on what? Like, what topic am I going to debate Nick Fuentes on? I don't care what he talks about. Oh, boy. Such a weird world. The internet's such a funny place because of that type of stuff. Richard Pierce says, what? You're Christian, then pronounce this in perfect non-Vulgate Latin. Incensum istud a te benedictum ascendant ad te domine et descendant super nos misericordia tua. Fuck. I don't know what that means, but I believe you. You like Fuentes? I have no problem with people liking Fuentes. That's fine. That's the thing. I'm like, I don't know what I debate Fuentes on. I don't, he has his own, he has his thing and he sticks by his principles, I guess. I just love the fact that like, it's like, buddy, like if you want to, and it's my very minor criticism of the like trad Catholic alt-right or whatever that I don't know how to say it in a non-derogatory way. I don't mean it in a derogatory way. Is just like, you better be having babies. You better be raising the next generation. Are you having babies? Are you homeschooling? Are you building charter schools? What are you doing? Like, if you want to save the West, you better be saving the West. Like, get started. But you should take the Israel first side. But I don't want America to give money to anybody. I don't want them. I don't want that to happen. That's not I don't want to give money away. I want the money to stay here in the U.S. Here we go. I gotta get some more smoke in this whiskey. Come on. Get torched. Oh my gosh. I gotta change the angle on this thing. Gotta get the unburnt. I got some unburnt shavings over here. This is riveting television where you watch me off screen trying to light this stupid stuff on fire. All right. We get more smoke down into the whiskey. Killdozer says, Nick, if you're white, get laid. Yeah, do it. See, I'm the I'm the opposite of Drexel on this issue. As you guys know, right? I have all my kids. I think if you want to affect the next generation, like I think we're worth saving. And Drexel's more of an accelerationist. And so I'm like, no, raise the next generation. Do it. build the better children. Because if all the liberals are going to stop fucking each other, or they're all going to be gay or trans or whatever, like, go for it. Stop breeding. Wait till you're 36 and freeze your eggs or whatever. I don't care. Don't have any more babies. Just go be college professors, and we can stop sending our kids to you. And then we can actually have a bunch of babies. We can do that instead. And then we can actually raise the next generation of people. Like that, to me, that's the we're going to try and save this thing plan. Now, not everybody wants to do that, but that's what I think. And what am I? I'm just speculating like everybody else. Okay, back to this document. Delaying this long enough. We're going to do the voicemail in just a second. The old statute is applicable. Mr. Wright's apparent threat is visible on the body camera footage. His want was to drive away with one or two officers, possibly clinging to his car. Officer Potter had good reason to believe that Mr. Wright was about to commit a felony, namely fleeing a police officer in a motor vehicle. He was a public safety risk. The arrest could not be delayed. The complaint's factual basis is, in the end, hindsight driven. Officer Potter should have done this. She should have thought that, which was never been the standard to be used when evaluating a police officer's use of force. Citing Graham versus Connor. Mr. Wright created a scene frenetic and dangerous. Officer Potter had to act. Uh-oh. They've made like 4 typos in this document. This is just the most recent one. They've clearly lost. Officer Potter had to act. That's the mouthwash. Bam! She poured it in Dante Wright's eyes and he died from bullets. The calculus of reasonableness must embody allowance for the fact that police officers are often forced to make split-second judgments in circumstances that are tense, uncertain, and rapidly evolving about the amount of force that is necessary in a particular situation. She believed the use of a taser was appropriate when she saw Mr. Wright's abject denial of his lawful arrest coupled with his attempted flight. She could have shot him. That is a great ending. Holy crap. There it is. That's the Matthew McConaughey in A Time to Kill ending, right? When he goes, now imagine she was white. Right? And all the white women are crying on the jury. Now imagine she was white. That's what Paul Eng just did there with that last line. It's fantastically done. She could have shot him. And the judge here goes, she did shoot. Oh, right? Like that's the nice little subtle dig there. Who knows if it'll work, but it's a good argument. And it's correct. It's a correct argument. Because remember, this isn't actually first-degree manslaughter is not about her actual actions. It's about her state of mind. Was she reckless in doing her action? He's saying she could have shot him. Her state of mind was pulling a taser and tasing him. It's not what happened. That's what her state of mind was. Saying she could have shot him meant she could have been in the mindset to do what she did and be completely justified. Something I've said a whole bunch ever since it happened, because it's true. It's true. It's a very, very good argument. Very good closing. They don't have any. Notice there's no. They didn't do this. Like, they didn't have a conclusion section. So we pray the court will reverse the charge, remove the charge and dismiss this, blah, 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 blah. They didn't waste time with that. Just bam, she could have shot him. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Get it. Get it, Earl. All right. I'm going to try and get some more smoke down in here. This is the thing. I might have to make the smoke holes a little bigger. Might have to bore them out. Bore them out like an OnlyFans chick who's not making enough money. Can I fit this inside? Hee hee hee. All right. Okay, here's this. So I'm supposed to. Everyone should be on Thought Patrol at all times. I need to get the voicemail up. Here it is. Okay, so I got this random voicemail. I don't know who it's from. I think I might have to pull this up to hear it, but I don't know who it's from. I didn't care, but I wanted you guys to experience just a little bit of the hate and vitriol that comes my way. Here I am doing my job. Trying real hard. And then this is what I get. This is what I get. Are you ready? Unmuted. Here we go. Yeah, this should work.
You claim to be an attorney or a lawyer, comma.
Comma? Wait, why do you say comma? Why is that?
I mean, I don't know of any attorney or lawyer that has a successful YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's right. Fuck you, Devin. You got wrecked. Nate got wrecked. Emily Baker got wrecked. Uncivil Law, Viva. You all just got your asses handed to you. Get ruined. And again, I guess if he doesn't know of one, it must not exist.
I'm confused. I think you're a grifter, right? I think you're full of shit, and I just wanted the opportunity to say something to you, right? I mean,
right?
I can't tell what side you're on ever.
I can't tell what side you're on ever. Like, I don't know, right?
You remain neutral. Just shut up, dude.
Just shut up.
Right? Like, you're sitting here on the sidelines and you're supposed to be a lawyer. When I grew up, I was told the lawyers were the good guys.
Oh God, who lied to you? Who hurt you? Lawyers are the good guys. Where? When did this happen? No one ever told me. I would have never gone to law school. Oh God.
And it seems like all you're doing is grifting.
Yes.
Like, in the beginning, I used to watch you,
okay,
hoping that you would give advice, but you're not giving advice.
I can't do it. I can't give advice. It's against the code of ethics to give advice to someone who's not my client in a state that I don't represent someone. I can't just give advice. It's almost like there are rules that I have to follow.
You're perpetually just dragging people along. You're garbage, man.
Oh no.
Quit fucking putting out YouTube videos. You're garbage.
I gotta stop.
False hope one day and then doom the next.
Oh, this poor guy. He's on like this emotional roller coaster. He doesn't know what to do. False hope one day and then doom the next. I don't know. You're not holding my hand. You're not telling me everything's going to be all right. I mean, then you are kind of telling me everything's going to be all right, but then the next day you're telling me it's not. What do I do? How do I make up my own mind? I don't want to do that. I want you to do it for me, please. Please help. Stop making YouTube videos. They confuse me in my pants. Hold on. We're almost done.
Quit playing with people's minds.
You're playing with my heart.
do you really make that much money off of YouTube? You can waste your time putting these videos out. You don't have enough clients. You can do something else.
Yes.
Get off your ass and start doing some lawyering. Quit YouTubing.
No. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me. You can't tell me what to do. Oh God. Oh boy. So yeah, I got that. It was sitting in my, I sometimes get my voicemails go to my email, and I was going through emails today, cleaning them up, and that was in there, and it was like, oh, that is so good. That is so good. You're just, I don't know what to do. I need you to stop. Please stop. I don't know how to live. Oh God. Okay, here we go. Wait, what? We'll have to look at that in a minute. Okay, sorry, I don't really have anything else to say about the voicemail. I just found it funny. He's like, get off your ass. Get off your ass and do some lawyering now. Why? Why do you need me to do that? I don't understand why they need me to do that. Oh, here we go. Here's another one. This is similar. It's in a similar vein. This guy posted a whole bunch of comments on YouTube in a row. And so I'll pull this up real quick. So this is from TL Skyward. And I don't know. Okay. We've covered this before. I don't delete YouTube comments. You can say whatever vile, horrible thing you want about me in the YouTube comments. It's fine. Like, it doesn't harm me. It only benefits me for you to engage in the video. So comments are good. Every time you come and click on the video and leave a comment, there's a chance that I get an ad to play on your click. And that helps me. Even if the ad doesn't play, the view count ticks up one more. And that helps me. The comment is an interaction that helps me. These are good things. I don't want to ever delete a comment. Nothing you can say in a comment makes me want to delete it. All right. But, and believe me, there's plenty of people who say some pretty nasty stuff. It's fine. Like, that's just life. That's life. If people aren't saying it in the comment section, they're just saying it without the comment. They're saying it to themselves or to their friend or whatever. They're still saying it. It doesn't affect me anymore because they wrote it down and put it on my channel. Right? It's just a comment. If you hate me and you think I should die, I mean, I guess that's fine. And so here we go. However, YouTube itself is different than me, and YouTube doesn't like certain things people say. And so YouTube will delete comments, and I don't ever even see them most of the time. They're not comments that I can do anything about. Like, I don't go in and review. I have the minimum settings on for stuff. So, but if you say you're a fucking grifter who should get hit by a train, like, YouTube's probably going to delete that comment. It's just how it goes. But this person went full Karen on me. You didn't think I would refresh the page to see if you deleted my comment? The guy that got D's in lawyer school. I didn't get D's in lawyer school. What a weird one. But here's the thing. 7 minutes ago, the First of all, the odds that I see your comment in general is low. The odds that I see it within the 7-minute window and then have time to go delete it is even lower. But notice this: 7 minutes, 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 28 seconds. The only reason I pulled this up is because I happened to check my app, like I said, and the three recent comments were all from this guy. So I'm like, oh, this is funny. This is good. And so then look at this. I can just keep typing if you piss me off. Okay. No, don't stop typing. Here's another. Okay. All right. How good of a lawyer can you be to spew your wares on YouTube? I don't know. Ask the other lawyers who do it. I'm just me. My lawyering has no effect on anybody who watches this show, basically. That's by design. I don't really want to represent a bunch of people. I'm happy to refer people. I don't want to do it. Like it. I don't have a paralegal. It takes so much time to draft lawsuits and to do all the research. It's normally stuff you would have an associate or a paralegal do. I don't want to do it. I much rather drink whiskey and tell jokes. It's more fun for me. You could block me like the coward you are. Block me again, and I will downvote every video you make from now until the end of time. Okay. But I didn't block him. I didn't even know you can. All these comments were published, right? These are not held for review. I haven't responded to them because I didn't. And then all of them are gone now. So YouTube must have deleted them. I did respond after taking the screenshot to tell him he was a fucking idiot and that I don't care what he types. But then he either he or YouTube deleted all the comments. I don't know. But this, I'm telling you, man, these people are weird. They're weird out here. That was just a side thing. Sorry. All right. Do we want the, there's the torture porn case. And then we should do this one. This is a good case to cover. Here we go. All right. This is the United States versus Deanna Marie Stinson. I'll pull up a picture. Here we go. We gotta know who's the charges are against. This is Deanna Marie Stinson. Whoops. Florida woman accused of trying to arrange murder of ex-partner's new spouse. So that's what's going on here. So here's the here's the complaint. Armor Yoshi, oh, you did send me an email about the GoFundMe. Okay, I'll check it out. Sorry. All right, I don't know how much smoke we got into this whiskey. It doesn't smell very smoky, so I think I might have to make bigger smoke holes. It did drop a burnt wood chip in there, so maybe that flavored it a little bit. Yeah, no, that one didn't do much of anything. That was a lot of time for not a lot of success. So putting it upside down, smoking the glass works because you smell the smoke that's in the glass, and then you get the whiskey, and the nose experience influences the taste in your mouth. But smoking it down into the glass didn't do too much. I'm going to do some research and maybe bore some holes into it. So, okay. Back to this thing. The complainant in this case state that the following is true to the best of my knowledge and belief on or about the dates of July 30th, 2021 to September 14th in the county of Hillsborough in the Middle District of Florida. The defendant violated 18 USC 373, solicitation to commit a crime of violence, and 18 USC 1958, murder for hire. John Jelaine says, try Michter's Sour Mash whiskey next time. You know what? I like Michter's small batch bourbon. It's really good. But I don't know about the Sour Mash. This criminal complaint is based on these facts. Here's the attached affidavit. And this is from Julio Fuentes. Oh, no. Special Agent FBI, and his name is Fuentes. Uh-huh. Okay, cool. There she glows. I'm joking. John Jelaine says, rich guy. No, I don't have a bottle of it. I've just had a glass of it somewhere else. I went to a couple years ago. I did a Kentucky Derby bourbon tasting. Super fun. Lady Rackets and I got to dress up. There's pictures on my Instagram of us dressed up as Kentucky Derby. We didn't go to the Derby. We were still in Minnesota, but we went to a Derby party. So we got the hat and dressed up, and then we had a bourbon tasting, and it was a lot of fun. I'm pretty sure those pictures are on my Instagram. By the way, I have an Instagram. I don't ever push it because I don't ever post to it. Follow me on Locals instead. But that does exist there. All right, here we go. I, Julio Fuentes, being duly sworn, deposes and states as follows. I am a special agent with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, United States Department of Justice, currently assigned to the Homestead Resident Agency. I have been an FBI special agent since June 2008 and have been assigned to the Miami Division since October 2008. My duties involve the investigation of a variety of violations of federal offenses, including violent crimes, Hobbs Act robberies, extortion, and other violations of federal law. This affidavit is submitted in support of a criminal complaint against and arrest warrant for D. Anna Marie Stinson for violation of 18 USC 373, solicitation to commit a crime of violence, and 1958, murder for hire. There's probable cause to believe that Stinson engaged in criminal activity using a facility of interstate and or foreign commerce while residing in the Middle District of Florida. Sheila Alien says, dry ice and vape the liquor. Try it. Do your research first. So the party that I was just at, they had a every year they have a signature cocktail crafted by the bartender, who I'm supposed to, for the past 2 years, get on a show with the bartender. I want to go and hang out with him and do a mixology stream because he's funny. And also he's a really good bartender. And so I want to go do that and share some fun, like mixology, learn some simple drinks that people can make, and how to make them, and have him do that. The problem is COVID kind of shut down our ability to do that as easily. But I did talk to him and said, hey man, we need to do that. And he's like, yeah. Let's set it up. So hopefully I can get that soon. But he was not the bartender for the custom drink this time. He's done the dry ice drink a couple years ago, and it was great. I don't know what the hell was in it, but it was really good. This year, there was a dry ice drink. There was a different bartender that day. And he put like way too many dry ice cubes in each glass. All right. So put like 7 or 8 dry ice cubes in each glass, and then was just pouring the liquor mixture. It was a mixed drink. So it's probably like 20% alcohol at best. Pouring the mixed drinks over it, and the vapors coming out. It looks cool, but you couldn't drink it. It was basically rock solid in the bottom of every glass. It was like, why'd you put so many fucking ice cubes in there? Like, you just need one. You just need one cube in there to bubble and make the vapor. But if you put all of it in there, it's just a sludge sickle on the bottom. No one could drink the drink at all. Inhale it. This one wasn't, that might have worked, except you accidentally, Sheila, let me tell you, if you tried to inhale this, the smoke coming off of it, when you get a mini donut that's covered in powdered sugar, and you go to bite it and you accidentally go right before you bite it and then you die because a bunch of powdered sugar goes into your lungs and turns you into a baby for 10 minutes and you're like coughing around, writhing on the floor in agony. That's what happened with this drink every time. It was terrible. It was terrible. It was not good at all. So, yeah. If the intent was to have the vapor come out and us suck the vapor in like a bunch of degenerates, that was not communicated and should have been. That'd be a massive amount of powdered sugar. It really doesn't take much, man. You're about to take a bite of, try it. You got like a pecan sandy or a powdered sugar donut and you're like, and you accidentally breathe in because it's like, I can't breathe. Oh, fuck. And then you're dying. You're dying. Spicy Peach really wants people to leave this stream and go to a different stream. Kind of weird. So anyway, back to this. By the way, we are at 906 likes by my count. If you like the stream, helps with the metrics. At 1,000 likes, of course, I take a shot. I'm going to switch whiskeys if we get to that 1,000 likes. But if you don't like it, please don't click like. But, if you do, go ahead and do it. It costs you only your dignity, but it helps me immensely. So thank you. All right, here we go. The facts set forth in this affidavit are based on my personal observations, my training and experience, and information obtained from various law enforcement personnel and witnesses. This affidavit is intended to show merely that there is sufficient probable cause for the requested complaint, does not purport to set forth all of my knowledge or of or investigation into this matter, unless specifically indicated otherwise. All conversations and statements described in this affidavit are related in substance and in part only. So there's more. So they're always saying there's more to it. Oh, we got there. Okay. So I got to finish this one and switch to a whiskey I like a little more. So thank you. I'll do it in just a second. Bad Vibes. Oh, I missed this one earlier. Bad Vibes sent a chat, says, what do you call a busload of lawyers going off a cliff? A good start, I guess. Too small of a vehicle. Why don't sharks eat lawyers? That one is professional courtesy, I think. John Jelaine says, here, get some of the sour mash next time. Okay, will do. Will do, John. They do sell it at my local liquor store. So we'll do that. Funny Ginger, we did do the voicemail just a little bit ago. If you back up about 15 minutes, you'll probably get there. Background on Bitcoin. Bitcoin, also known as BTC. Oh, we've got a footnote right away. Since Bitcoin is both a currency and a protocol, capitalization differs. Accepted practice is to use Bitcoin, capital B, singular with an uppercase letter B, to label the protocol, software, and community, and Bitcoin with lowercase b to label units of currency. That practice is adopted here. Ooh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was practice, that was a thing, that standardized addressing of Bitcoin. Very weird. Garrett Graves says, funny how the click the like button seems like it's for YouTube engagement, but really it's just your audience wanting to see you die of fatty liver disease. Yeah. Well. Okay. All right. We'll do this Kilchoman whiskey next. Kilchoman Scotch. Whew, which doesn't need to be smoked because it's already smoked. All right. Bitcoin is a type of virtual currency circulated over the internet. Bitcoin are not issued by any government, bank, or company, but rather are controlled through computer software operating via a decentralized peer-to-peer network. Bitcoin is just one of many varieties of virtual currency. Bitcoin are sent to and received from Bitcoin addresses. A Bitcoin address is somewhat analogous to a bank account number and is represented as a 26 to 35 character long case-sensitive string of letters and numbers. Each Bitcoin address is controlled through the use of a unique corresponding private key. This key is the equivalent of a password or PIN and is necessary to access the funds associated with a Bitcoin address. Only the holder of an address's private key can authorize transfers of Bitcoin from that address to other Bitcoin addresses. Remember, guys, crypto is one of the worst ways to pay for someone to murder someone else. Don't do it. It is terrible. Not legal advice. Use cash that you get from various ATMs all over the place over a long period of time and stash away in a pissy mattress with someone else's piss so that their DNA is on it. Don't use Bitcoin to hire a murderer. It's a bad plan. Okay. This key is the equivalent of Users can operate multiple Bitcoin addresses at any given time and may use a unique Bitcoin address for each and every transaction. A Bitcoin wallet is used to store cryptocurrency and can control multiple Bitcoin addresses. The wallet interfaces with the blockchain and uses private keys to restrict access to spending Bitcoin. To acquire Bitcoin, a typical user purchases them from a virtual currency exchange. A virtual currency exchange is a business that allows customers to trade virtual currencies for other forms of value, such as conventional fiat money, e.g. US dollars, Russian rubles, euros. Exchanges can be brick and mortar businesses, exchanging traditional payment methods and virtual currencies, or online businesses exchanging electronically transferred money and virtual currencies. Virtual currency exchanges doing business in the United States are regulated under the Bank Secrecy Act and must collect identifying information about their customers and verify their clients' identities. Again, it was only a matter of time before they regulated Bitcoin. So if you use an exchange, like I know that there are ways around this. But if you're using the conventional exchanges to collect Bitcoin and not doing like direct transfers of your own mined Bitcoin that no one's ever seen before, you're tracked. Don't do it. Don't hire hitmen this way. Hire hitmen the traditional way. You pay off with sex. That's the best way to pay off a hitman, because then it's good for you and him, or her, as it were. Right? We watched the whole 9 yards. If Amanda Pete was your hitman, wouldn't you want to pay her off in sex rather than in currency? I mean, I think that's a foregone conclusion. Now, if Frankie Figs is your hitman, you probably don't want to pay in sex, because I have a feeling you're going to be the bottom, and that's going to be bad. To transfer Bitcoin to another Bitcoin address, the sender transmits a transaction announcement, which is electronically signed with the sender's private key across a peer-to-peer Bitcoin network. To complete a transaction, a sender needs only the Bitcoin address of the receiving party and the sender's own private key. This information on its own rarely reflects any identifying information about either the sender or the recipient. As a result, little to no personally identifiable information about the sender or recipient is transmitted in a Bitcoin transaction itself. Once the sender's transaction announcement is verified by the network, transaction is added to the blockchain, a decentralized public ledger that records every Bitcoin transaction. The blockchain logs every Bitcoin address that has ever received Bitcoin and maintains records of every transaction for each Bitcoin address, which is amazing to me. Like, I get some of the appeal of Bitcoin and the escape from fiat currency, but at the same time, like there's a public ledger of every transaction, and I think that ledger is going to be eventually exploitable in some way. And that's so it's interesting to me because for legitimate purposes, that's a good thing, right? Like you want to have imagine never having to have a receipt because a receipt always exists forever. And and it can never be deleted because it exists everywhere all the time. That's cool. Like that's a good thing. Like imagine in a contract dispute, you're like, no, I paid in Bitcoin. This motherfucker's lying. I can show you the transaction. There it is. There's my Bitcoin address. There's the payment to this fucking weirdo. You've got that. It's that's a good thing. Illegitimate transactions or transactions that you don't want Big Brother to follow, that it becomes a little bit less good. A little bit less good. While a Bitcoin address owner's identity is generally anonymous within the blockchain, unless the owner opts to make information about the owner's Bitcoin address publicly available, investigators can use the blockchain to identify the owner of a particular Bitcoin address. Because the blockchain serves as a searchable public ledger of every Bitcoin transaction, investigators can trace transactions to, among other recipients, Bitcoin exchangers. Because US-based Bitcoin exchangers generally collect identifying information about their customers, as discussed above, subpoenas or other appropriate legal process submitted to exchangers can, in some instances, reveal the true identity of an individual responsible for a Bitcoin transaction. And then it's my point in this is that this will only get more and more complete as the government wants it to. Probable cause. Oh, wait, we've got a couple footnotes. Oh, they haven't started yet. On or about July 30th, 2021, members of an investigative media organization, the complainants, advised the FBI they had information they believed to be a threat to life. Information provided by the complainants has proven to be reliable in the past and has also been corroborated by law enforcement in a separate investigation. Law enforcement presently understands that the source of the information of the complainants was from a website on the dark web. That's the black web, the dark web, the web that they think is lesser than the regular web. They're very, very racist at the FBI. Very, very racist at the FBI. I just want to point that out. The FBI thinks the dark web is lesser than the white web. Very, very white supremacist. Mandy Caraviccia says, thank you for the workman's comp advice, Nick. They let me have the day off with pay, and I saw a doctor. It's like the place I work at knew I was going to lawyer up. 5 stars, Wood Ricada again. Yeah. The thing about workplaces is they expect that people maybe will just, they'll give them an offer to like do a thing. If you just give them that extra moment, they go, okay. Because work comp, you don't want to get a work comp claim from a lawyer because lots of the statutes, at least in Minnesota, how the statutes work out is if they don't provide you with the work comp that they're legally obligated to provide you with, they don't do that. Then not only do they pay you and they pay a penalty, they also pay your lawyer fees. And it gets really, really expensive when all it would have cost them is literally a day off. So experienced employers, they're going to be pretty cool about helping you with work comp. Now, if you immediately lawyer up and have your lawyer send a threat letter because they're like, hey, sign this waiver, not the best move, right? Because then they're going to be like, oh, okay, you want to be hostile on this? Fuck you. We'll fire you. We'll do all this stuff. But yeah, they're going to, a lot of times, most employers who have dealt with work comp issues are going to be pretty amenable to it. All right, here we go. The dark web, also sometimes called the darknet, or deep web, is a colloquial name for a number of extensive, sophisticated, and widely used criminal marketplaces operating on the internet. That's not actually how I understand the dark web. Am I wrong on that? I don't understand the dark web as automatically widely used criminal marketplaces. I just understand it as anonymous websites that don't follow the traditional tracking protocols that others do. But that's me. That's me. But I would never go on the dark web, so I don't know, because every every dark web website to me is a Fed, right? Every single one is just a Julio Fuentes. Julio, get the stretch, right? Like that's that's him. That's Julio on the other side. But which allows participants to buy and sell illegal items such as drugs, firearms, and other hazardous materials like children with greater anonymity than is possible on the traditional internet, sometimes called the clear web or simply web. These sometimes called the web. These online black market websites use a variety of technologies, including the Tor network defined below, and other encryption technologies to ensure that communications and transactions are shielded from interception and monitoring. A famous dark web marketplace, Silk Road, operated similar to legitimate commercial websites such as Amazon and eBay, but offered illicit goods and services, like One Night in the Ass of Tess Holiday, which, if you bought that, you would know it was fake because there's no way you go into that ass and get out in one night. It's too deep. The canyon is too wide. You would never find your way out. It's too dark and sweaty. Law enforcement shut down Silk Road in 2013. Okay. So information to the complainants was from a website on the dark web that advertised murder for hire services. The website, as law enforcement presently understands. Although the website offered murder for hire services, it never actually delivered on the promised services after receiving payment from its customers. That's fraud, bitch. How dare you steal my murder money? How dare you grift me? What am I doing? How am I not doing this? This is the greatest grift I've ever heard. These guys are just like, think about what's happening, right? The website is just stealing. And the only justification they have is, well, but what they're trying to buy is illegal, though. So we just get to keep tens of thousands of murder dollars without actually hiring, Enrique to go mop up the crime scene. That's rude. That's not even fair. This chick should definitely sue them. Hey, I hired these assholes to murder my ex-husband's new chick, and they didn't do it. They owe me $12,000. What a great plan this is. Okay. To my knowledge, law enforcement officers have not had direct contact with the website administrators. That's the biggest lie in this entire complaint. This is the biggest lie in the entire complaint. This is probably a website run by the FBI. Like, let's be honest here. They're just taking people's money, advertising murder for hire with impunity. Like, let me clue you in on something. If you open the dark web page right now, all right, and you advertise murder for hire, even if you're like, I'm just going to steal these fucking dummies' money, guess what? You will be in prison immediately for running this website. Because you'll be like, no, I was never going to murder anybody. And they'll be like, fuck you. You took money. You were definitely going to murder people. You lying sack of shit. That's how this goes with any real person running this. You 100% are getting raped in prison tomorrow. No way on earth do you get to skate on that charge. This is definitely, if it's not like an FBI, it's DHS or CIA or someone else. Like, this is guaranteed to be run by the authorities, by law enforcement officers. Maybe it's just DNR, right? It's the Department of Natural Resources out here. They're like, we're just trying to keep the swamps clean. Oh my God. There is no way that this is run by just some normies stealing tens of thousands of dollars of people and promising to murder their loved ones. Like that is, you just say that out loud to yourself and then laugh at how fast you're in prison. I accessed the website and observed the following statement on the homepage. Quote, if you are looking to have someone murdered, beaten, kidnapped, you have arrived at the best place. I present to you as evidence that this is a Fed-run website, Exhibit A. The website included a message forum open to the public. Of course it did. On the publicly viewable portion of the website, agents observed a message posted on the main forum page on or about July 15th, 2021 by a username redacted. Username A, titled Florida Job, that read, I am looking for a quick hit in Southern Florida. Is anyone available? On or about July 20th, 2021. A hitman, vendor 1 on the website responded, contact me. Agents took a screenshot of this message thread to preserve it. A hitman replied, Julio Fuentes' twin brother, Julian Fuentes, is the one who sent it. I love this story. I love this story. This story glows from fucking orbit. The complainants, who have access to data stored on the website, provided law enforcement officers with records pertaining to username A. Yeah, that's right. People running a criminal operation of abject criminality just chose to send the evidence of their criminal actions to the feds out of the kindness of their hearts, out of the blue, just randomly. Yeah, by the way, feds, we run a criminal theft enterprise with the promise of murder attached to all transactions. But we promise we don't do it, so we're just going to send you the data every time it comes in. We're definitely not another branch of the U.S. government, though. The records included username A's apparent subscriber information, payment and transaction details, Bitcoin addresses associated with username A's account on the website, and username A's chat communications. According to the records provided by complainants, username A joined the website on or about June 24th. And had Bitcoin addresses associated with username A's account. The website records showed that username A funded one Bitcoin address associated with username A's account and had conducted approximately 5 Bitcoin transactions with the website, which had a combined market value at the time of approximately $12,307.61 to solicit and hire a hitman to kill victim 1. Guys, it always amazes me how cheap hitmen are, right? It always amazes me. Like just how inexpensive it actually is to murder people. And I wonder why it doesn't happen more often. Like, not that everybody has 12 grand lying around or anything, but I mean, like, if you really wanted someone dead, you save up for a little bit and you got it. You nailed it. I always thought, like, as a kid, we're like $250,000, $500,000. Like, this costs a ton of money. But I learned because in Shaft, the Samuel L. Jackson Shaft, when he talked about the amount of money that was stolen being like $20,000, he's like, I know motherfuckers who clean out a whole area code for that kind of money. And it's like, oh shit, that's not much. That's not much. Specifically, username A placed an order for hitman services on or about June 25th, which included victim 1's name, address, and a photograph. Look at this photograph of victim number 1. The order also included a description. Do not do at the home. Any place else is fine. Need completed during July, preferably between July 5th and 11th. In addition to the order described above, username A placed 4 additional orders. Like the first order, the 4 subsequent orders also included the name, address, and photograph of victim 1. The orders included the following descriptions. Do not do at the home. Any place else is fine. Need completed during July. Bonus if completed by July 31st. Do you have a preferred escrow service? I'm ready to proceed. Can we get this done by month end? Do you have a preferred escrow service? I'm ready to proceed. Can we get this done by month end? The escrow account is set up on CoinSaver. Please advise as your username. Do not do at the home. Any place else is fine. Need completed during July. Bonus if completed by July 31st. According to the records provided by the complainants, on or about July 2nd, username A paid approximately 0.177402216 Bitcoin to the Bitcoin address belonging to the website, which had an estimated value of $6,138.11 on the date of transfer for the purpose of hiring a hitman to kill victim 1. Username A also made 4 additional payments on or about July 20th, 2021, and on or about July 21st, 2021, totaling approximately $6,169.50 on the date of transfer. The website records provided by the complainants also showed 3 transactions on July 20th, where username A appeared to send Bitcoin to a Bitcoin address associated with username A's account for the purpose of funding username A's account on the website. My hitman name would be, I'm definitely not a Fed Glowy 2020, right? Because you don't want to do current year. You want to make it look like your hitman name's been around for a couple years. So you got to pick a year a couple years ago. Complainants also provided law enforcement officers with purported excerpts of communications on the websites between username A and the website vendors, alleged hitmen, and administrators. Footnote 4. Law enforcement has not been able to verify these communications through direct contact with the website. Substance of these communications, however, have been corroborated through law enforcement observations of the website, records from a virtual currency exchange, and Stinson's conversations with an undercover law enforcement officer in or around August and September 2021. These messages were not available to the public. Within these communications, on or about July 15th, username A asked the administrator of the website, "Are you ready to move forward?" On or about July 17th, the administrator responded that the order had been received and asked if any help obtaining Bitcoin was needed. Username A responded, "I am ready to proceed. I have the Bitcoin." "We have the Bitcoin. We are ready to comply." A review of the communications between username A and the administrator revealed that username A transferred Bitcoin to a virtual currency escrow account for the purpose of paying the hitman service. July 20th, I sent a test amount of $100 to Bitcoin escrow. It says receipt of funds still pending. I did 2 transactions, $10 and $100. What do you need from me to trace it? Transaction code for you to check, redacted. I am ready to transmit today, ASAP. Address, redacted Bitcoin address. I did a test amount and it seems to be working. I don't see the release feature or a key code. Funds are in the escrow account. Please assign to vendor 1. Okay, I'm assigning that to vendor 1. God, how cool are you if you're a hitman and you're a fucking vendor? Oh, it's awesome. What do you vend? Death. Death has come to your town. July 21st. Thank you. What is the process for checking in on job status in the time frame of completion? July 23rd. Where are the instructions for releasing escrow for this site once the job has been completed? July 27th. It's been a week. The vendor advised it would take 1 week. Please advise on how to get an update on the job. July 29th. I've sent a message to the vendor asking if he has completed the job. Once he says he completed the job, we send you a notification that will include 2 links, a link to release the funds and a link to request the funds back. You will check if he completed the job. If not, you can click the link in message to release the funds back. What's she going to do? Text the guy? Are you alive, bro? This is a weird text from username A. Alternatively, if he fails to complete the job, we can either assign you a different hitman to do the job, or you can just withdraw the Bitcoin from it to your external wallet. Can you? Can you just take it out? Because if they're a good criminal enterprise, they're not letting you take it back. Thank you for explaining the escrow process. I will give them until the 31st. By the way, what is the new website? Does vendor 1 normally come through? I'm going to come. Do you have another vendor suggestion if vendor 1 doesn't work out? Haven't heard from the vendor. Please reassign the job to someone who has a history of getting the jobs done. Let me know who you've reassigned the job to. I need this done. ASAP. Someone says, I do Tupperware parties and murder plots. That's the scam right there. Do an MLM. Do an MLM and then kill, like after the party's done. Right? That's brilliant. You follow someone home after they order like 16 ugly dresses from LuLaRoe. Have you guys seen LuLaRoe? It's the worst clothing line I've ever seen, and women sell it like crazy. And I'm like, why do you buy this? Someone just cut up their bath curtains and put them into a dress. They look fucking terrible. Oh, I hate it. I want to watch that LuLaRoe documentary about how it's a cult. While username A communicated with the website administrators, username A also communicated with vendors who held themselves out to be hitmen, specifically on or about July 17th and July 30th. Username A and vendor 1 engaged in the following conversation. What is your turnaround time for job completion? About 1 week. Is this okay? Yes. Since I don't have access to the escrow, you use Florida, and Bitcoin escrow is not safe. What trusted site can I use to set up this escrow? I'm ready to get this done ASAP. Also, I will do bonus if we can get this done by month end. Did you receive the assignment? Is anything else needed? Yes, I received the assignment. Everything is okay. How do we communicate regarding job status updates and estimated time of completion? These are the worst clients, right? You don't have to be a hitman to have a client like this. Look at all these fucking messages they're saying. Is it done yet? Are you done yet? Are you done yet? Are you done yet? Like, bitch, back up. I got to set this up. I got to drop a piano on this guy. Leave me alone. I'm tying ropes. I'm lifting a 900-pound object. A 1,000. Oh, God. Been drinking. I'm lifting a 900-pound object by myself. I got pulleys out the ass. I'm trying to kill this motherfucker as he's walking down the street, and you're sitting here texting me. Leave me alone. Any updates? Please provide me an update ASAP. Please advise. It's been over a week. What happened with my job? I got no update and it wasn't completed. Shut up, Karen. A reminder, this lady is sending you texts. When you'll hit girl texting you at 2 a.m. and she be looking like this, what you do. Oh, shit. All right, here we go. On or about July 30th, the FBI began investigating the above described alleged criminal activity on the website. Agents interviewed victim 1 and learned that Stinson had a previous romantic relationship with victim 1's current spouse. Law enforcement officers also conducted an analysis of the Bitcoin blockchain used in the transactions described above and determined that some of the Bitcoin addresses used to pay the website belonged to a specific US-based virtual currency exchange. The subpoena to the virtual currency exchange yielded records for a registered account that had sent Bitcoin to the website or Bitcoin address associated with the website. The exchange responded to the subpoena and provided business records associated with the account, which I reviewed. The records provided revealed that the account was registered to Deanna Stinson at her residence in Tampa, Florida, had been created on or about March 15, 2021, the Stinson Virtual Exchange account. The registration information for the Stinson Virtual Exchange account also included the email address dmariestinson@gmail.com. By the way, you can email her in prison and start one of those things where, hey, girl, you get out in like 25 years, yo. I'm just thinking maybe I could visit. If you're into that sort of thing, I don't know. Date of birth, the driver's license number, social security number, and phone number associated with Stinson. The exchange service also provided a copy of Stinson's driver's license and selfie-styled photo of Stinson that were submitted to verify the Stinson's virtual exchange account. It's definitely me. I just want to hire a hitman. Please stop making me do all this goddamn verification. What are you? Oh, my God. Here's my driver's license and passport. Here's my class records. Jesus. The Stinson Virtual Exchange account also contained the following bank account details. A savings account issued by Chase, believed to be Chase Bank in Stinson's name. Well, I think Chase Bank needs to be canceled for supporting a murderer. A checking account issued by JP Morgan Chase in the name of WOE Consulting, Inc. A check of the Florida Division of Corporations revealed WOE Consulting, Inc. is registered to Stinson at residence in Tampa, Florida. In response to the subpoena for business records, the virtual currency exchange also provided a transactional log for the Stinson Virtual Exchange account. I reviewed the records and observed a transaction dated July 2nd, where the Stinson Virtual Exchange account sent approximately 0.1774308 Bitcoin, valued at approximately $5,983.12 on the date of the transaction, to a Bitcoin address. The complainants advised was assigned with the website. Transaction is consistent with the transaction reflected in the website records provided by the complainants as described above in paragraph 15. There appears to be a small discrepancy from the U.S. dollar amounts provided by the complainants in the Stinson virtual exchange account records. While I'm uncertain of the exact reason of the discrepancy, I'm not. Based on my training and experience, it is possibly attributable to transaction fees and the volatility of Bitcoin's value on the market. Yeah, it's pretty easy to figure out exactly why the transactions don't match exactly from point to point, because even 1 second of delay between checking the records is going to have a different value attached to it. Records for Stinson virtual exchange account also show the following transactions dated July 17th. We got the $100 transaction, and we've got the $45.95 transaction. Transaction log contained within the Stinson virtual exchange account records also included internet protocol addresses used while accessing Stinson virtual exchange account. Why on earth is your IP logged? On or about July 8th, 2021, an IP address registered to Hawaii Telecom was used to purchase $5,100 worth of Bitcoin. On or about August 16th, 2021, I received travel records from Delta Airlines indicating Stinson traveled from Tampa to Honolulu, Hawaii on or about July 5th and returned on or about July 11th. You dumb fucking bitch. Why didn't you use NordVPN? What is wrong with you? You VPN. You don't use Tor from your home browser. Use Tails, then use Tor, and probably use a VPN within Tails as well. Like, what are you doing? Jesus Christ. These travel dates correspond with the preferred dates requested on the order placed on the website. Yeah, can you do this while I'm in Hawaii, please? That would be great, because then I have an alibi. Fuck me, how stupid is this person? The IP log contained within the Stinson virtual exchange account records also revealed that on or about July 17th, an IP address registered to Charter Communications was used to purchase $325 worth of Bitcoin. On or about September 20th, I received subscriber records for Charter Communications for the IP address used to make this purchase. According to Charter Communications, the IP address at the specific date of time of the purchase was subscribed to Stinson at her residence in Tampa. Even at home, she's not using a VPN. Even at home. On or about August 24th, I took staged photographs of Victim 1 exiting Victim 1's residence, which is located in the Southern District of Florida. On or about August 27th, an undercover Fed contacted Stinson while impersonating the hitman Stinson had contacted with via the website. The undercover sent a message using WhatsApp, an encrypted messaging application, to a WhatsApp account associated with a telephone number listed on the Stinson virtual exchange account. The amount, like, this is why, guys, a long time ago, a buddy and I, we talked about opening a security, an internet security consulting firm. Everything this person has done is wrong. If they had hired me, right, it would have cost probably more than the hit would have cost. But if they had hired me, they would have known that everything they were doing was fucking stupid. Everything they're doing is bad. What are you doing? Why don't you have a burner phone? Why don't you have a fake driver's license that you can get? You can do all these. People have been getting fake driver's licenses for years. Why haven't you done? Like, you're trying to murder someone. This isn't like you're stealing a candy bar from Walmart. You're trying. This is the amazing thing to me. They're all like, well, I mean, it's murder, but I want to do it as cheap as possible. Really trying to say, look, I'm looking for a hitman, but I'm trying to get out of here as low rent as I can. Jesus Christ. I used to be. I'm not anymore. I mean, I still am, but I don't consider myself this way. I used to be a licensed, accredited cybersecurity expert. I know that's going to make so many of you cringe. Cybersecurity law expert, not a cybersecurity expert, but a cybersecurity law expert. For 1 year, I was. The accreditation stays forever, but the not like how the technology progresses and stuff changes very dramatically. That was when I was going to do the consulting business, but instead I did YouTube. It was easier. My law school, as a fun fact, did the first remote cybersecurity law certificate you could get. So, and I participated. I was one of the first classes, actually, which is kind of cool, kind of fun. All right. On or about August 24th, I took the, oh wait, fuck, here we are. The WhatsApp profile associated with Stinson had a profile picture that matched Stinson's driver's license photo. The undercover sent Stinson a staged photograph I had taken along with the photograph Stinson sent to the website to identify victim one. In the text string, the undercover asked Stinson to confirm the person in the staged photograph is the same person Stinson was seeking to have killed. Stinson responded, looks right. On or about September 1st, the undercover obtained Stinson's number from the Stinson Virtual Exchange account records and called Stinson using the WhatsApp application. Undercover called from the same number used to send Stinson the photographs of victim one. During the call, which was recorded, the undercover stated that the undercover was going to stage the murder as a robbery. The undercover would need to purchase a revolver. Undercover asked Stinson if she was willing to send the undercover money via Western Union, to which Stinson responded, I can't send you Western Union. I don't want it traced. The undercover then asked if she could send Bitcoin, to which Stinson responded, yeah, that's fine. Fucking dummy. The undercover told Stinson that some people have second thoughts. And then asked Stinson if she was sure she wanted it done. Stinson responded, yes. Guys, this is your fed out. This is your fed out. Just say, lol, nah, I was just pretending to be retarded. That's the Fed. They have to confirm this because they're literally using a criminal enterprise, right, to build the case against this lady. They can't just do that. They have to verify it themselves because it's a criminal enterprise. There's no credibility from a website that puts out fake murder for hire so they can grift and steal money from people. That wouldn't work. So they follow up and send you a WhatsApp. Hey, girl, I'm going to need that revolver. I'm going to need that 38 special. Oh, yeah, girl. Please just send me that money, by Western Union, girl. Would also send me pictures, of you, maybe turned around a little bit, girl, with your ring size. When I'm done with him, I come take care of you or whatever. Jesus Christ. These people are so fucking... Stinson responded, yes. The undercover told Stinson the undercover would reach out if they needed the money. On or about September 12th. And that's enough. They don't actually have to send the money. They know that you got it. This is not entrapment, by the way. Kataba Guy says entrapment. This is not entrapment. Entrapment is to induce someone into criminal activity that they would not have otherwise engaged in without the inducement. The feds in this case are just confirming the criminal activity that the person was already attempting to commit. So this is a little bit different than entrapment. Now, had the website never existed, right? Had the person or had a Fed sent them an anonymous message. Hey, girl, you looking to murder your ex's new wife? I got the place for you. And then she's like, oh, I'll click on it. That's maybe entrapment. She sought this out on her own by all accounts. I shouldn't say by all accounts. By this account, she sought it out on her own. She attempted the criminal activity. The feds just came in and confirmed that she wanted to do it. That's not entrapment under the law. On or about September 12th, undercover using the WhatsApp application sent Stinson a unique Bitcoin address and asked her to send $350. On September 13th, I checked the Bitcoin account created solely for the purposes of this investigation, observed a transfer of 0.0077 Bitcoin, approximately $350 at the time of transfer. Conclusion, based on the foregoing, it's probable cause to believe that Stinson committed a violation of 18 U.S.C. 373 and 1958. And of course, she did, and she did it in the dumbest ways possible. That is, guys, That is how you do not hire someone to murder your ex's new squeeze. Lamacaw said, had a Fed professor that heard a guy out of college would make meth for money. He gave the kid a meth lab and put the kid in prison after he made the meth. No entrapment, lol. Nope. Entrapment is really, really hard to show. You have to show that under no circumstances other than the law enforcement involvement would they have done the criminal act. But if you give someone a meth lab and they're like, yeah, I'm going to fucking make meth, shockingly, they would have done it. And the FBI does it with bombs all the time. Holy shit. So this is a crazy case I saw. I thought you guys might enjoy it. I hope you did. I hope you enjoyed this wacky case of this lady who's out here trying to get her ex partner's girlfriend or wife or whatever fucking murdered. I thought that was pretty funny. I don't care that Microsoft Edge has been updated, you fucking stupid. God damn. And open my Streamlabs donations here. That's all. By the way, I'm opening the Streamlabs donations as a courtesy. I would really prefer people not send Streamlabs donations. I don't like them. I don't want them. Streamlabs banned me. I'm working on an alternative donation thing to YouTube, like Stream Elements. I just haven't sat down to do it yet, but I'm still reading the Streamlabs ones for now, but I am going to get rid of it at some point. Since they banned me, fuck them, fuck Streamlabs. I don't want them to get any cut of anything from anyone. Okay. And no, Streamlabs never told me why I was banned. They never told me what rule I violated, what stream or video it was from, or what. They never told me. And I asked if I could appeal it. And they said, nope, we review these really hard. So we've determined that we're correct and there is no appeal. So fuck them. Fuck them. I hope they catch fire and go out of business. Personally. Ryu says, so it's my 30th birthday. Your stream, but mostly the community, saved my life 2 years ago. Well, I guess give credit to the community and not me, but okay. When I was going to end it, thanks you all. Ricada saved my life. That's better. That's better. Sign up for his locals. P.S. I didn't cry over Gundam, but I got grifted. Ryu. Hey man, you have no idea. You have no idea how much that makes me happy. Look, I'm pro-life. I'm anti-suicide. I really am. And I think that suicide is a permanent solution to temporary problems. And I know that those temporary problems seem big and insurmountable, but look, as a guy who's approaching 40, right? Life has peaks and valleys, and sometimes the valleys are long and deep, right? They really are. They really suck. But it just, on balance, I'd rather be alive than in the ground. And I always hope that anyone watching this show gets that message, that you actually have more worth than what society tells you, what everybody tells you, especially if you're young, man. If you're a young guy, this world hates you. They want you to fail. They think you're garbage. They think you're bad by gender, by age. If you're a sub 35 male, you will get no respect in your workplace. You will be vilified for daring to try and start a family, or trying to figure out how you can approach one. You'll be vilified and crucified for anything that you do that is just natural behavior. And it really, really sucks when that happens. It does. And it's a broken system and it's broken people. But those people are broken. That doesn't mean you should end it. That does not mean you should end it. And if you weather it, there is value. There is value to you that is beyond anything any of these people see. And you should persist. I know it sucks. I know it's hard. But trust me. Trust me. Please. You are more valuable than their animosity. So I'm glad to see that you made it, buddy. There you go. Happy birthday. Fuck the IRS, says in Trump voice. Nikki, you're wrong on taxes. Taxation is not theft. Taxation is extortion. Tax code is horribly complicated, very complicated. Very smart people look at the tax code. They don't understand it. Look, I have a big brain. I understand it. My brain is very good. Lots of experts have looked at my brain. They've said it's a great brain, probably one of the best brains they've seen. A couple others are in the running, but mine's very good. Very good. I understand the tax code. You probably don't, but that's okay. Tax code is horribly complicated. Too many accountants for my taxes because my accountants are not as good as me, but I don't have time. Tax code is used to persecute my supporters and my employers and employees. I don't have an employer. I am the employer. I've been wonderfully running companies, all sorts of companies, very good companies, Trump steaks, Trump ties, Trump hats, all of the employees, Trump golf courses, wonderful golf courses, some of the best courses you've ever seen designed, frankly. Have you tried them? Have you played at the Trump courses? Mar-a-Lago, one of my favorite courses, not the best one. One in Scotland's pretty good, but used to persecute my employees and throw them in jail. Black J says, Nick, did you see the great Twitter race war between the Indians and the blacks? I DM'd you on Twitter. It's hilarious. Yes, I did. It was very, very funny. I might have to pull it up on stream tomorrow. I might have to do that. Let's see. What do we got here? That's the justice chance. And did I get all these? Yep. Okay, here we go. Fuck. Where was this one? Xenobit says when Nick got his haircut, he was like Tom Cruise in Vanilla Sky. Look at my hair. Look at my hair. I like that movie. You want me to play the Ralph Shart clip, please? Oh, boy. Why do you guys want me to get in trouble with this? Why do you guys want me? You're like out here trying to get me in trouble. What is it? Where is it? Trying to get me to start a fight? I don't want to have a fight. Who has it? Someone mentioned where it was. Who has it? Oh, Kiwi Farms? Fuck. Oh, front page? Okay. There it is. All right. Here we go, guys. No, Ralph. It's not. It's muted. Hold on. I think that's you guys. Let me make sure. That's it's just quiet. It's just quiet. I can't raise the volume anymore. Oh wait, maybe I can. Fuck. Let me see if I can do this. Audio. Let's try this, okay? Here we go. Ugh. Gross. Gross. There you go. That's whew. If you can't hear it there, you're gonna have to go back and redo it. So that's look, man, you're streaming for 24 hours. Eventually you gotta fart. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. If you didn't hear it here, you'll have to go check it out for yourself. Okay, back to this. Zoom and enhance. I can't. I'm in StreamYard. I can't actually enhance the audio anymore. Jim McCobb says I usually fart when I go take a pee. Me too, and it's great. It's great. Okay. Rick Nikita says it's either up the nose or up the butthole. I prefer nose. I prefer nose on that one. Zephael says the entire chat needs to get tested. All have been exposed. Ben Frail says rip Aust Aboriginal elder Uncle Bevan Costello got jabbed to show Aborigines they need to get vaccinated. Dropped dead from heart problems days later. No. Oh no. Not good. Not good at all. The Seal boy says cheers Nick cracking open a bottle of Macallan edition number 5 that my girlfriend gifted me for my 30th birthday. Organized Arizona Politics says all these conspiracies about Jews taking over the world are just not feasible. They're always on another holiday. Speaking of that, silver coins go clink clink says, I don't know anything about the blacks versus Indian bit on Twitter, but for the love of God, please voice act it tomorrow. Also, why is there audio of Ralph doing this? Lamau, he's the gift that keeps on giving. He's on a 24-hour stream. Look, guys, I've farted at least 10 times on this stream. It's natural. It's natural. I didn't go, oh shit. Yeah. I didn't do that. You won't even know. I guess Easter eggs if you can find them. Next time I'll spread my butthole right into the microphone just for you. Asia Frazier says plus size clothes are hard to find. If that fat people went on a clothing strike, would that encourage clothing brands to make more large sizes before the world goes blind? No, do not encourage that. No. Clothing brands need to go on a fat person size strike. That's what needs to happen. Jeremy Hey Boar says, I can't believe my company is teaching pronouns. This stuff is getting stupid. Love the show. Thank you. Renee Villarreal says, for the love of God, roast Legal Eagle on the panel. Also, Google docking. I know what docking is. Sticks and I were docking. I know what it is. Mario Carter 13 says, R. Kelly would be a free man if he didn't jump on that Lady Gaga song and saying, you're the Maryland, I'm the president, do what I want with your body. Legal Bites says, I need your lawyer cat painting. I need it. You'll have to fight me for it, Legal Bites. You can't do this. You think you better be able to throw hands. Better be able to throw hands. Captain Kerfuffle says, forgot to ask in the last chat, any chance of reading any legal documents that pop up from the bear urine shaman? Possibly. Very interesting case. You got to send them to me. Kidda says, Secular Talk is literally one of the founders of the Justice Democrats. Front for the Democratic Socialists of America. They brought us AOC in the squad. Yeah, I heard this. I learned all this today. I heard all of this today. It's a brilliant grift that they did, but I heard that Kyle Kalinske in Secular Talk resigned from the Justice Democrats when they found out that Cenk Uygur, the Turkish Armenian genocide denying, I won't say what else, Cenk Uygur shockingly hates women. Like once that became to light, Kyle Kalinske resigned from it at least. So that was good. Mario Kart 13 says, how long until SSN are required for vending machines? Not long. Not long at all. By the way, I just want to know, Cenk Uygur went to Columbia University, 1992 to 1995 is my estimate. It doesn't actually say, but does anybody have the rape stats from 1992 to 1995 at Columbia University when Cenk was there? Does anybody know how many rapes Cenk Uygur committed at Columbia School of Law? Does anybody? I'm just saying, he was there. Rapes occurred. Only possible conclusion is that he did them. Mario Carter 13 says, my fair share is a tax refund. Hashtag Gibbs me that. Levi King says we should just get rid of tax under 100,000, take that loss of 4% or whatever, so everyone can shut up about fair shares. I mean, it's 3%. I kind of agree with you in general, but they won't stop saying it. They won't stop saying it. That's the crazy thing. The total, your average under 50, and I know this, I was an under 50% wage cuck forever, right? For a very long time with a lot of kids. I was a net tax taker because I had the earned income tax credit. So I made more, I got tax money from someone else. I was a net negative taxpayer for a very long time. I didn't make a bunch of money, but I had a bunch of kids. That's how it works. I just recognized that was being paid for by rich people. That's the reality. That's the reality. And by the way, if you would ask me back then, should I be allowed to vote as a non-net taxpayer? I would have said no. I would have said no. Absolutely not. Wayne Smith says, didn't Biden sidestep $500,000 in Medicare? I don't know, probably. Sentinel Rex says, Nick Rekieta-based attorney is a game I would play. Eldon Bainling says, just drink water, Nikki. Water is greater than liquor that requires you to smoke your glass or some nonsense. Water is the best. You can smoke anything. You don't have to smoke liquor. Xenobit says, when Nick got his haircut, he was like Tom Cruise in Vanilla Sky. Look at my hair. Tina says, Nick, I love your DSP voice. It's perfect. So, as DSP, guys, I didn't spend money on WWE champions. Someone must have stolen my identity. I don't know if you've seen this. There's news stories about it. Identity theft's a big problem. I'm kind of in the public eye. I had to file for bankruptcy. And so a lot of my information's already out there. So, you know, and the Kiwi Farms has doxed me. I've been doxed all over the place, get doxed left and right. And so, you know, that I got the trolls. The trolls been doxing me, stealing my identity. They've been doing this, try and set me up for WWE champions, which is why I claimed it as a business expense on my taxes. Joel Reese says, I'm so excited and I just can't hide it. Blam! Andrew War Snowboard says, the Indians have played their last home game ever. An 8-3 victory over Kansas City. Fuck MLB for ruining a tradition for an entire city. No, they're going to be the Cleveland baseball team or whatever. Matt Field says, are the Guardians, Cleveland Guardians? Matt Field says, hey, Nick, what would have happened if Dante would have complied in the first place? He'd be alive. He'd be alive. That doesn't automatically justify police violence, by the way, in my opinion. Just because if someone had complied means they would be alive doesn't justify the thing that made them dead. In this case, for Dante Wright, it absolutely does. It absolutely does. Because I think, as much as I think Kim Potter is a moron who should be fired and probably be in jail for stupidity, if nothing else, I don't think she intended to kill that guy. I really don't. And I think she's actually justified in killing a felon who is fleeing in a car that wasn't theirs, who potentially was putting people in danger under the law. Maybe the law shouldn't be that way, but the law is that way. And so he should have complied. He'd be alive and everything would be fine. But he didn't comply. And she was likely justified. There are other instances where someone doesn't comply a little bit. Eric Garner is a big one for me. Eric Garner is actually really bad, right? To me. You guys can disagree. Guy selling cigarettes on the side of the road, and his non-compliance is that when they grab his arm, he kind of pulls it back, and then the guy puts him in a chokehold that he's not allowed to do, and then lays on his gets on his back. The guy's like 500 pounds or whatever, and ends up crushing his heart and lungs. Because he had training specifically saying he shouldn't do that. His was a worse case than Chauvin's. He didn't get charged. Chauvin did. Garner's actually a really bad case because there shouldn't be a law against selling individual cigarettes to people. That law comes from taxation, and taxation is theft, and that's bullshit. But, his non-compliance was actually pretty minor. He didn't do, it might have grown bigger, we don't know. But that one's a shit deal. And his non-compliance does not justify what happened to him afterwards. Whereas with Dante Wright, his non-compliance is literally a justification for shooting him. The only problem she had is she yelled taser instead of, I'm going to fucking shoot you. If she would have yelled that, it would have been no issue. IPS being yes. Daniel Shaver, he says, what about the cop who shot the dude in the hallway? That's one of the worst. I agree. Daniel Shaver is one of the worst officer-involved murders ever, and that guy wasn't charged. None of them were, and both the guy yelling instructions and the guy who pulled the trigger should have been charged for murder, and they should have been convicted. Daniel Shaver is one of the worst killings. The other one, I don't remember the guy's name, but he answered the door at like midnight. He had a gun in his hand. The moment he sees the cops, he went to set the gun down, and the cop shot him in the back of the head. That's the other one. Those two are some of the worst police violence acts that exist in America. They got no press coverage and no charges from the cops. Really pisses me off. Saturn Tube says, thanks for the advice last night. I bought a domain to share my stuff and made a matching YouTube and Twitch. Not sure how, but I'll grow that audience. Do it. You just got to keep making stuff, man. Just keep making stuff. Do it. Do it. Do it. Dark Lush G says the Pipe Hitter Foundation is one raising funds for Lieutenant Colonel Scheller. Any donations and advocacy is very much appreciated. Thank you. Okay, guys, check out the Pipe Hitter Foundation. Raising funds for Lieutenant Colonel Scheller of the Marines, if you want to check that out. Character Holding says, would it be a better valid argument that she is a victim of a systemically racist system that made her do it? No. Her argument that it's justified is a really, really great argument. Asia Frazier says, Nick, I'm a grifter. Rando, I think you're a grifter. Yeah. How do they not know this by now? Xenobit says, have you seen Xenobit's video? Ethan Ralph lets one go. No, I didn't. Unless that was the one on Kiwi Farms. Was that the one on Kiwi Farms? I don't even know anymore. Is that Xenobit's video? It's archived locally, so I don't know if that's from Xenobits. Long Reach Jones, but guys, you can check it out. Xenobit. If you want to check out Ethan Ralph lets one go. That's there. I just let one go while saying that, but I don't have a mic turned up for ASMR thoughterry, so you had no idea. Long Reach Jones is going to join you on that with a bit of Glenfiddich. Currently mourning my sanity as I am older than half my law professors and half the students have more genders and brain cells. Dude, the other law students are absolutely insufferable at law school. Absolutely insufferable. Mario Carter 13 says, an eye for an eye, a knife stab for a cock stab. Red Mage 13. Dennis Prager farts. He literally stops talking during rips. That's amazing. Red Mage 13 says, CSI Cyber several years ago had an episode about a Bitcoin theft and murder over it and hiring, I'm guessing, a bounty hunter of sorts to try and get it back. Did you guys see Dog the Bounty Hunter is on the case in Brian Laundrie? So we're going to have a semi-washed up celebrity in Dog the Bounty Hunter going ahead and either proving that he's legit or proving that he's a sham. So that's good. He's on the Brian Laundrie case, tracking down Gabby Petito's most likely murderer. And he says he's going to have a lead within 48 hours. So watch out. Dog the Bounty Hunter is on it. I met Dog the Bounty Hunter once. His staff told me to get out of the way because Dog was coming out. So that was cool. That was nice. And I did get to shake his hand. I was like, hey, buddy, what's up? And he's like, yeah. I'm smoking a cigar. Leave me the fuck alone. And I was like, yeah, good job, Dog. Why are you so important? But apparently a lot of people want to kill him because he got them into prison. I don't know. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Long Reach Jones says, when dealing with employers for injury/workman's comp, the opposite of Robert Barnes applies. Always in writing, never in cash. Derna 1804 says, presently means soon, not currently. Case dismissed. Mandy Carvicia says, a basic corn berserker would do it for free. That's true. Mario Carter 13. That's why you always need an Eversor assassin. Mario Carter 13 says, Hitman, I got paid $6,000. Chicago, y'all get paid? Chicago had 8 people murdered over the weekend. 8 people murdered over the weekend, which is more than like the past month of COVID deaths in Minnesota. Backgoat says, Streamlabs is for suckers and wimps. Love you, Susan. No one important says, I sent your usual Twitter DMs, but wonder what you think of the military and now hospitals firing a third of their staff for being non-poked. Yes, I meant to talk about this today. We'll follow the stories on it tomorrow, probably because that's when it happens. New York says that all medical staff in New York State need to have the vaccine as of tomorrow. And they're going to fire everyone who's not vaccinated and replace them with the National Guard. Medically trained National Guard will be replacing registered nurses and potentially doctors at care facilities in New York. Look, I don't know. I'm not here to disparage the Guard, but if I went to my doctor and it was replaced by a guardsman who said, yeah, I went through first aid, I'm like, I'll take the doctor though. That's how that goes for me. S Cybertaz says that was a shart and squeaked past his balloon knot. Oh God. Ace of Spades says in Kermit, hey Nikki, can you explain why you don't like Legal Eagle? He's a lawyer, so he knows what he's talking about, right? I'm sure he's a stand-up guy, unlike a certain lawyer who's farted 10 times. Legal Eagle has some real shit takes. Real shit takes on the law. He is openly partisan, but I shouldn't say he's openly partisan. He is partisan, but he professes neutrality and nonpartisanship. Well, this is just the law. This is just how it is. But it's not just how it is. It's not just how it is. And, that became real apparent during the election. He's also an approved voice on YouTube. I don't like approved voices on YouTube. I really don't. I inherently reject them. And he's got his new video out, which I need to go through and do a dismantling of. But he's got his video out about how, vaccine mandates are supported by the law. And you can imagine it's already that it's just shit. So fuck Legal Eagle. I hate that YouTube likes him. Believe me, like I have heard directly from YouTube that they love Legal Eagle and that he understands how YouTube works, which is code to say we literally promote him as much as possible, which is why he's gone from 400,000 to 1.8 or 2 million subscribers in the past 8 months. I mean, YouTube promoting you the way they promote him is how it happens. You don't get there if YouTube doesn't like what you say, but they love what he says. So that's enough for me. 2.5 million now. Oh yeah, and he's never going to stop growing. He will never face what everyone else faces. He will never face the shadow ban. He will never face the we're going to purge your subscriber rolls days. He will never face that. He will never have a video that isn't promoted to the maximum by YouTube. None of his videos are going to get less than 10 million impressions. Remember, he has 2.5 million subscribers, but every video he does is going to get 10 to 30 million impressions automatically. Those are opportunities for people to click. Every single one, no matter what the subject is. If he were to talk about vaccines, it would be promoted as expert content. If I talk about vaccine mandates, which is a legal thing, by the way, I'm not recognized as an expert by YouTube, even though I literally am a legal expert by as much of a standard as Legal Eagle is, but he will be promoted as an expert on all legal matters, whereas other lawyer channels will not because they don't have the right opinions. That's why I don't like Legal Eagle. He's a fucking sham. S Cyber Taz says, if the WWE Champions account was from stolen funds, then you should have no problem having that account canceled. I mean, it's only money, isn't it? Rio Arawa says, Nick, if you're going to fart on stream, you might as well pull out a lighter and light those suckers up. That'd be great. Xenobit says, Xenobit's video was a Rickroll. Enjoy, chat. Oh, fuck you, Xenobit. And then finally, Mandy Caravicia says, what would be your alignment in D&D? Lawful evil? Maybe. Or neutral evil. Probably neutral evil. Brent Sanders says chaotic neutral for him. I mean, that's a good one too. I don't know. Look, I'm a lawyer. That doesn't mean I've got a legal alignment. Sometimes you don't follow the law. But all right, guys, that's I think what we've got for the show. We're going to go over to Twitch. We're going to watch a movie. We're going to have a good time. And we'll be back tomorrow, assuming I don't actually have COVID. Because as stated, I'll be getting tested tomorrow for COVID. I had I had an exposure from someone who tested positive. It could be a false positive. We'll see. But now I have to get tested. I do have a mild cough, but that's about the only symptom. But, I also noticed a little bit of weird pain in my back on the skin, on the surface of the skin, which I've had before from being sick. So that's not like a COVID symptom. It's just a sick symptom. So I might be sick. I don't know. I'm going to try not to be. And if I am sick and not like drooling and coughing and a disgusting mess, I'll still do a stream. But just in case you guys are wondering if there is an announcement that I'm sick and not going to do the show, it's because I'm not presentable or not able to do it. Otherwise, we'll have one tomorrow and we will catch you then. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I don't have the outro, right? I don't have the outro, the proper outro. I still need to figure out, I got to get a video attached to the outro so I can put something up. But for now, let's just do this. I hope you guys have a great night. Peace.
How you think you done it?
Okay, number one, Your Honor. Just look at him.
He talks like a fag, too.